The Lawnmower Hospital. Contractors, spring cleanup is coming. It's time to get your lawnmowers, aerators, power rakes, lawn vacs, and more serviced at the Lawnmower Hospital. Hey, the longer you wait, the longer you'll have to wait in line later. Their service department gets crazy busy as the season rolls on, so get in now while it's calm. For quick service on top brands like Bluebird, Ryan Turp, Husqvarna, and more, check out lawnmowerhosp.com. The Lawnmower Hospital.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward commitment to quality speaks to us.
Radio, right now, no divorce outside the zone. We won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 every day. On radio, listening on YouTube, and on social media. Or listen to Sports 1440 at work, and maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 business. Get up there. Choose our team and email. At sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
The savings up to $1,800 on sofas and sectionals. And buy more, save more, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game and save up to 40% off select mattresses and score free delivery when you use your Flexity card. Plus, save 15% when you buy 2 or more select major kitchen appliances. Summit Canadian Design. The Canadian of 1979.
I wish. My bike's completely messed up, though. Looks like someone needs to go to St. Albert's Source for Sports. This spring, hit the trails and pass with confidence behind the handles of a new sport. St. Albert's Source for Sports. Nice. St. Albert's Source for Sports. Headquarters for over 35 years.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
All this month, you can get in the swing of spring with Pot for Dough at Nisku Ford. Shop amazing deals on their entire in-stock inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs. You're sure to find the perfect ride. Then, with every vehicle purchase, you'll get your turn to Pot for Dough. Just sink your putt to win fantastic prizes like gas cards, big screen TVs, Blackstone griddles, and more. See dealer for full details. Find your new ride at niskuford.ca. Above expectations.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Turned it over. He got a chance to clear that puck. Didn't get it done. But Colson cut it off. Bouchard and McDavid trade up top. McDavid puts it into an area.
On Sports 1440.
Six from the world's best. Connor McDavid. 46.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Bronson finishes his kick, and then comes up with a puck, drops it for McDavid to the net. Stop! 5-2 Edmonton.
We continue on. How are you? Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a fantastic Thursday afternoon. Welcome to the Gregor Show. Always brought to you by playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game. And, of course, tonight there's a lot of games. The Edmonton Oilers, we'll get to it a little bit later on our stats today. It might be the most confusing. Oilers can clinch a playoff spot if, and there's a lot of ands. So the Oilers are close. Basically, one more regulation win, and not even regulation win, just one more win, and the Oilers can punch their ticket to the playoffs. I think win 2 of their final 3 games and gives them a very good shot to win the Pacific Division for the first time since 1987. So there's lots happening. Of course, it's Thursday. That means the Daily Grand. You can win $1,000 a day of our title sponsor, playalberta.ca, for the next 20 years. $7.3 million. It's a pretty good deal. So get your tickets, playalberta.ca. We, of course, have the Masters ongoing. We will update you on the leaderboard. It's early. It's only Thursday, but it's much better to be in the race on Thursday than out of the race. And currently, your clubhouse leaders, both in the clubhouse at 5 under, Sam Burns and the defending champion, Rory McIlroy. You also have Kurt Kitayama, Jason Day, and Patrick Reed. They're in the clubhouse at 3 under. Justin Rose is 3 under through 9. Scotty Scheffler's 3 under through 8, as is Gary Woodland. So those are your leaders as we speak, and we'll update you throughout the afternoon, give you some thoughts on who's going to where. Corey Connors is even through 10 holes today. And hey, you just want to stay in the mix. Ideally, if you get a few birdies in the back 9, that would be great for him. Other Canadians, Mike Weir is a 6 over today. And I'm missing him. Nick Taylor. What's the Nick man shooting today? So he's at 1 under. So he's tied for 14th as we speak. So both of those guys in there. Mike Weir, of course, is a former champion, gets the opportunity, but no one thought he would be competitive this weekend. So we'll see what happens. But some guys who you maybe thought would be competitive that aren't having a great day. Bryson DeChambeau, 4 over. Bubba Watson, Patrick Cantley, they're all 4 over. So John Rahm, 4 over through 9. Ooh, he's looking like my scorecard there right now. Jeez, well, mine would probably be even worse through 9. Let's not kid ourselves. But 4 over for John Rahm. That feels probably like a 8 to 10 over for the average guy, at least if you're like a bogey golfer. So not a good first 9 for Mr. Rahm. Coming up on the show today, we got a loaded show for you. Of course, we are going to talk Edmonton Oilers as they get a big win last night. And really a dominating win at both ends of the ice. So Connor McDavid really dominated. 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. It was killing. He had 5 points through 40 minutes. And the Oilers just decided, you know what, we won't give up anything. And they didn't. The Sharks had 14 shots in the game. That's a season low in shots allowed for the Edmonton Oilers this year. The Sharks, it isn't their lowest shots on goal. They had 13 against the Ducks back in December. But they were frustrated last night. As good as McDavid was offensively, I think the Oilers team was pretty close to that defensively. They didn't give up very much at all. You know, Celebrini scored kind of early in the game on a power play. And after that, they didn't have a lot of chances. Even like their second goals, through a maze happens. But Edmonton, I think, would be very confident in how they played last night, that if you can repeat that, the Oilers, and this is what I said yesterday, Cons, this is the Oilers. They can go from a team in Utah that frustrates you because they don't want to play defense to the team last night. And really, in 6 of their last 8 games, the Oilers have been really good defensively. They're 6-2 in those games. In their 6 wins, they allowed 10 goals. In their 2 losses, they allowed 11 goals. And now, bad games are going to happen even in the playoffs. Did you know when the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup in 2024, they had 6 games, 6. So basically a quarter of their games where they allowed 5 or more goals. 5. Last year, they did it 3 times. Like, it's going to happen even in the playoffs. The other teams are good. Maybe you just don't have it that night and the ball starts rolling against you, fine. But if the Oilers can have more games defensively like last night, and they're probably going to have to because Draisaitl might not be ready to go to start the playoffs. Now, the only negative, well, there's 2 negatives last night. So there's Connor Ingram's injury, although he stayed on the bench, which meant if Jari got hurt, Ingram was coming in the game. So to me, that says slight discomfort, maybe not too serious. I'm just going to say right now today, I think Tristan Jarry is going to start on goal on Saturday. Like, why would you rush Ingram back? He wasn't good enough. He had to leave the game, minor tweak, whatever it is. He left the game. Came back. You saw him even in the third period. He comes out at the TV timeout. He's down. He's doing the butterflies, checking, looking at everything. So who knows what it is. Orders a day off today. So we'll find out at practice tomorrow. My hunch is it's an afternoon game in LA. You play Tristan Jarry. You want to win. I understand that, but you want to win more in the playoffs. And hey, who knows? Another opportunity for Jarry to play well. The injury that looked worse was Dickinson. Now you hope that Dickinson, who took a shot and he went down, couldn't put any weight on it. So now, could that be a fracture? Possibly. I'm hoping, and I think Oilers fans are hoping for his sake, that it's one of those burners where you get hit in the right spot and your leg goes numb. It's like, oh my God, I can't stand up. This is brutal. But then it calms down. That's what you hope, because Dickinson has been exactly what the Oilers needed. A guy who takes a significant amount of pride in how he plays the game defensively. That this team doesn't need more offense. I've argued it. I've debated it till the cows come home for years. That's not what they need. Look at the Oilers. They've played 11 games without Leon Draisaitl. And in the first 10 games, their power play scored a whopping 3 goals. It was 10% until last night. And they scored 3 power play goals. So that was the first game where you're like, hey, our power play, really darn good. It wasn't good in the other games, but they didn't need to. The Oilers scored 5 goals 4 times without Draisaitl. 4 goals twice, 3 goals twice. That's 8 games out of 11 that you scored 3 or more goals. 6, 4 more. Offense has never been the major issue for the Edmonton Oilers. Defense, defense, defense. That's what it is. And last night, you put in that type of performance as a team, and San Jose is not a world beater, but they're a team that's, right there on the cusp. But it's not just them. They've shut down Colorado. They've shut down Vegas. They've shut down other teams lately defensively. The Utah Mammoth. I know, hey, the game in Utah on Tuesday, wasn't very good for Edmonton defensively at all. And it was really more so not because of breakdown structurally, just breakdown in puck management, like some really glaring giveaways. When they don't gift teams plans like that, the Oilers have proven they can play. When you want to play how the coach designed your system to play, you'll be successful. And I believe the Oilers could beat Utah in a series even without Draisaitl, because they might have to. There's no guarantees, right? Next, so the playoffs will begin for the Edmonton Oilers on either Sunday the 19th or Monday the 20th. But the last few years, the Oilers have started on a Monday, so maybe it'll be a Monday again. We'll see. The playoffs do begin on the 18th, but that's mainly going to be, teams that are done. Like, there's some teams who finish their regular season on Tuesday, the 14th. Like, in 5 days, they're done. So they'll have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. They would play Saturday. Carolina, like the Minnesota Wild. There's a few other teams. Now, we'll have to see it at matchups for sure. But I think there's 6 or 8 games on the 18th. Oilers are one of them. Lots of other teams. Rarely is the NHL going to ask you to play Thursday and then turn around and start the playoffs on Saturday. So That's why I'm saying it's either Sunday or Monday for the Oilers. So whichever day it is, that's going to be basically 5 weeks for Leon Draisaitl. Now, we had Grant Fedoruk on when we were talking second-degree MCL, which doesn't require surgery, right? It's just a thickness. And so it's a matter of how deep is the tear. It can be anywhere 4 to 8 weeks. Obviously, the deeper it is, the longer it is. Is he going to be ready after 5 weeks? There's a chance. But if your ultimate goal is to win the cup, and you know that an extra week can make a big difference for him, why would you risk it? You got to believe that your team can win without him. The Oilers look at what they've done here lately. 6-2 in their last 8 games without Draisaitl. It's pretty solid. They beat some good teams in there, and they beat the teams they should beat, like last night, the San Jose Sharks. Even without Hyman and Draisaitl, the Oilers scored 5 goals. Now, it helps when you've got McDavid, and he's got the turbo boost button. It seems like it was pressed the entire game. He was flying last night for the Edmonton Oilers. And as Macklin Celebrini said, man, as a fan, I loved watching it. When you play against him, really frustrating. I like the honesty because it's true. That was a game where McDavid, and in the third period, kind of took their foot off the gas and just said, we're not going to give up a lead, and they didn't do it. But they do, and think about it. So it wasn't just McDavid. Kasperi Kapanen, breakaway. Missed the net. Jack Roslovic, first breakaway. Missed the net. Matt Savoy, breakaway. Hit the net. Jason Dickinson, a 2-on-1, right from walking down Main Street, missed the net. Like, the Oilers had some unreal chances in that game. They could have blown that one wide open, but they didn't. But it wasn't just McDavid's line. The other guys had some good chances. They just didn't finish. And so I like their offense, but I was more impressed by defense because I know the Oilers can score. They might have a game where you only score 1. That's going to happen. But overall, offense, never a problem for the Edmonton Oilers. They can score goals. And last night, they dominated, I felt, in both ends of the ice. McDavid was obviously all-world. He reaches the 130-point plateau for the third time in his career. Joins a pretty unique group of players. Not many guys have scored 30 points 3 times. Gretzky, Lemieux, Esposito, Marcel Dion, Connor McDavid. That's it. McDavid 3 times, and Dion, Esposito 4, Lemieux 6, Gretzky 13 times. It's always funny. You look at all the records. God, this guy's doing good. Like, the one that did make me chuckle. So last night, Connor McDavid had his 14th 5-point night as an Edmonton Oiler. That ties him with Yari Curry for second most, behind Wayne Gretzky. McDavid, Curry have 14. Gretzky has 79. It's ridiculous. So, anywho, but McDavid, 133 points now. That's his second most point total in his career. It's not the second highest points per game because the 21 season where he only played 56 games and he had 105 points, that too would have been a 153-point season for McDavid. So I'd argue this is his third most productive season of his career. Still pretty darn good. Now, he has an outside chance to get to 40. Needs 7 points in his last 3 games. I wouldn't count it out. It's very possible for McDavid to get to 140, and make no mistake. It's not his main goal, but it's a nice little extra motivator for him. So he's now got a 6-point lead on Nikita Kucherov for the Art Ross. And trust me, he would like to get the Art Ross trophy. Don't ever believe for a second, oh yeah, the individual awards don't matter. BS. Of course they matter. In the history of the game, it matters. You cannot win the cup. It doesn't give you a better chance to win the cup because he doesn't win the Art Ross. It's the most inane argument I've ever heard from people. Oh, you know, I just got to focus on the team awards. What? You think when McDavid gets 5 points, that doesn't help the team? Of course it does. Helps the team play better. So they played well last night, and we'll see where it goes for McDavid and the Oilers on Saturday afternoon in LA. The Kings do play tonight. There are some meaningful games, actually quite a few meaningful games in the National Hockey League. You have the New York Islanders desperate for a win. They're taking on the battered Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs had to make a few emergency recalls today. The Buffalo Sabres, big win last night. They're now 2 points up on Montreal and Tampa Bay. And the Canadiens and Habs are playing each other. So only one of them can win. Now, it could be a proverbial 3-pointer. But if you're the Buffalo Sabres, you win today. and the Canadians lose, that guarantees you home ice advantage because you'll be 4 points up with 2 games to go and you have the tiebreak. If Tampa Bay loses and you win, you're 4 points up on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay does have a game in hand, but you put yourselves in a pretty good position if you're Buffalo to finish first. So they're hosting the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets, another team that is capital D desperate for a win. They have 90 points, 2 back of the Ottawa Senators. Technically, I'd say it's 3 back because the Senators own the tiebreak. But they're also 2 back of the Flyers, and Columbus actually owns the tiebreaker on the Flyers. So right now, you can argue that Columbus's better chance is to catch Philly than it is to catch Ottawa. The Red Wings are 3 points back, as are the New York Islanders. So those 2 teams are going to need to win, and then they're going to need some help for sure. The other games tonight, and all those teams are playing. That's what makes tonight fun. The Senators are hosting the beaten-up Florida Panthers. They should win that game. Looks like Thomas Chabot could be coming back tonight. The Red Wings and the Flyers, massive game. You're the Detroit Red Wings. You lose tonight, good night, Irene. And what another collapse that would be for the Red Wings. And I wonder what it would mean for Steve Yzerman. They don't make it. Penguins can punch their ticket. They're in, but they can almost guarantee themselves home ice if they can beat the Devils tonight. Winnipeg, slim playoff hopes are still alive. They need a win. They're in St. Louis. You have a first-round preview tonight, the Wild and the Stars. And I'll be curious. It's either going to be a very passive game or it might be a little bit of a message sender because guess what? The Wild are only 2 points back of the Stars for home ice advantage between those 2 teams. Now, Dallas owns the tiebreaker. So the Minnesota Wild, they're going to want to win tonight because they'd love nothing more. Those 2 teams, they're going to meet in the first round because you look at Colorado, they are 8 points up and they've clinched. Dallas can't catch them because of the tiebreaker. So they're number 1 for sure. So we do know 1 round for sure is going to be Dallas and Minnesota, just who's going to play where. Also tonight, the Predators in Utah. Preds need a win. Utah, a victory for them would punch their ticket, I'm pretty sure, to the playoffs, especially if they beat Nashville in regulation. So that would be the key part of that game. I don't think it officially, they need LA to lose. They need a lot of other if scenarios. They can clinch tonight, but they need quite a few others. A win tonight by Utah pretty much puts them, and I think they're in anyway. LA's 5 points back, as is San Jose's actually 7 points back, so I doubt they're going to catch them. San Jose Sharks, Anaheim Ducks. Game the Ducks, if you want to get home ice, they got to win. Meanwhile, the Golden Knights are in Seattle against the struggling Seattle Kraken. Maybe the announcement that Ron Francis is leaving at the end of the season will give them the boost that they desperately need. They're not making the playoffs. Seattle is not officially eliminated as Nashville. If Nashville picks up a point, I don't know. I guess if they win tonight, but if they pick up a point, then Seattle is pretty much good night. They're not going to make the playoffs, let's be honest here. Even if they win out, they can only have 85 points. That means Nashville could only gain 1 point. LA could only gain 2 points. San Jose, it's not happening. So they're done. It's just a matter of when they'll be officially eliminated. There's currently only 7 teams in the NHL who are officially eliminated. Probably add a few to that list tonight. Coming up on the show, as mentioned, we got a really good lineup. There's, of course, Pete DeBoer. 4 games left. Going to be a miracle to get in? Maybe. Livingston will be by. Racing Report. We got Kevin Kurz talking some Flyers. What a comeback for the Flyers, baby. Can they finish it off? Spec will join us. We got 2-minute warning with Tate. We got some really good stats of the day for you. You can always text us 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Conman, what stood out for you most last night in the game?
I'd be crazy not to say Connor McDavid's brilliance, right? What he was doing was unbelievable. A couple banking goals, he'll take it. The traditional Connor McDavid highlight reel goal, but just what he brought. And I think the team's just defensive play. I know you look at the season long, the San Jose Sharks aren't putting up the most goals, but they've got some really dynamic weapons. And I thought the response to the power play goal was key early on from Malcolm Celebrini. And then the Edmonton Oilers power play without Draisaitl, without Hyman going 3 for 3. Maybe they're back. It was a pretty good performance by them. And just, forcing opportunities. You went through the list of breakaways that they had, and not always the best chances, but they were getting them. So I thought all in all, a really good performance for the Edmonton Oilers. And hey, hoping Dickinson and Ingram aren't too serious. I think Ingram's probably going to be okay. But yeah, the Dickinson injury did not look good, especially the way he left down the tunnel, not putting any weight on it. You're hoping it's like a Jake Seresna type injury where he just bounces back with no problem. But yeah, at the time, it looked pretty serious.
Yeah, we hope it's not serious for sure. So we'll see where that goes. We'll take a quick break. Landon Ferraro joins us next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jack's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian born, blending since 1999.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Spring into savings at The Brick. Refresh your home with huge discounts. Save up to $1,800 on sofas and sectionals. And buy more, save more, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game and save up to 40% off select mattresses and score free delivery when you use your Flexity card. Plus, save 15% when you buy 2 or more select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, proudly Canadian since 1971.
Hey, Dan, want to hit the bike trails this weekend?
Oh, I wish. My bike's completely messed up, though.
Looks like someone needs to go to St. Albert's Source for Sports. This spring, hit the trails and pass with confidence behind the handles of a new specialized bike. Because you're guaranteed to keep on riding at St. Albert's Source for Sports.
Ready now?
Sort of. Got the new bike.
Nice.
But I didn't think to buy a helmet.
St. Albert's Source for Sports, your bike headquarters for over 35 years.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Busy Thursday afternoon. Oh, man, who doesn't love this weekend? If you're a golf fan, of course, the Masters underway. Burns and McIlroy are currently the clubhouse leaders. Lots of guys still on the course in the back nine. So we'll update you, but those two currently leading at 5 under par. Time now to go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. 53 years. They have become one of the most diversified and reliable electrical contractors in the province. 4 divisions. If you're looking for help for all your electrical needs, from solar divisions, projects, testing, you name it, they got it. ActionElectrical.net. As a Landon Ferraro, pre- and post-game host on Sports 1440, he also does some Canucks game on Sportsnet, joins us. And Landon, last night, as good as McDavid was, the Oilers' team defense might have been just as impressive.
It was great, and it's exactly what you want for playing a team like San Jose. As much as, they're fighting for their playoff lives and all of this, they're still a really young team that heavily rely on a very young kid to provide all their offense. And, I mean, his shot for his goal in the power play was just beautiful, right? Like, his release, how he comes in and he's wide-legged. Like, again, he looks so much like Crosby in so many ways. It's amazing to watch. But the Oilers, especially coming off of their defensive effort the game before, like, they needed to really rein it in, and they did. They minimized everything. They gave up no shots. And when Ingram had to leave the game after the second and Jari comes back in, I mean, what was it, 12 minutes before he got his first shot anyway? Like, it didn't even matter that they had to switch. And, that's something where they got to be really proud of the way that they came out and handled that game.
Yeah, obviously there's some potential bad news, like the Dickinson injury. It looked like it's either going to be a fracture or you hope that it was just one of those stingers. I'm sure you've taken one where you get it right on the bone and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it goes dead. It's kind of like dead leg all of a sudden. You don't feel anything. You can't stand up. And that's what you hope it is, because that one, like, Dickinson's been exactly what they needed as a third line center. And that'd be a huge blow if he's out. Yeah,
like all this depth that they found, he's a really big piece of that. And yeah, like, definitely, I was a penalty killer, and you're blocking shots. Every once in a while, you'd catch one, in a spot you weren't ready for. And like that bone on the outside of your knee, when you get caught on that one, it doesn't feel very good. And a lot of the time, it is just a big stinger. It's a dead leg, and it's a bone bruise that you're going to feel, but you're going to be able to play through. But you're right, like, you don't know what the damage can be. So hopefully those tests come back fine, and all of that's good for him, because you're right. He's been very, very good for the team, especially with Draisaitl out. But imagine now when Draisaitl drops back in and you have those 3 centers going down the middle, right? Like, they haven't really had that before. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that comes back.
The McDavid game last night, he was flying. His post-game comments, and I want to get the exact quote just for accuracy's sake, said, we still feel like our best hockey's in front of us, and we're going to peak at the right time in a couple of weeks. The Oilers are 6-2 in their last 8 games. In those 6 wins, they've only allowed 10 goals. In the 2 losses, they allowed 11. So, they're still susceptible to have a game blow up. But then I looked at Florida, who's a really good defensive team. When they won the Cup in 2024, they had 6 games where they allowed 5 goals or more. So it will happen for this team. I don't think the Oilers are suddenly going to go in the playoffs and every game's going to be awesome and they're going to be great defensively. It's not going to happen. But they've had way more good defensive games than bad ones. And if Draisaitl's not ready for that first round, I think they're going to have that. And they probably might have to win a few lower scoring games than expect to outscore the opposition every night. Like, when you have McDavid, you can, but it's probably not the best strategy every night.
No, you got a plan for McDavid not being a part of the offense in a sense, right? Like right now they are, like, I do see McDavid's comments of, we're not at our peak yet. To me, they can still play a bit faster on their transition, and when they're getting over the blue line, like attacking the net and not looking for the next play every single time, I think they can still get quicker in that sense. You look at the game last night alone, like they had a lot of chances and, they get 5, but there were more goals there and they don't need them then, but those goals are going to need to come at other points, right? So finishing can be a bit better as well. But when they get to the playoffs, to me, it's planning for, we're winning games 2-1, 1-0. And then if McDavid decides to go off, well, that's just icing on the cake, and that can put you over the edge, and that's great. But how are we going to win if he's not on the score sheet? They can play defensively good enough to give themselves a really good chance.
Oh yeah. I look at the Oilers, and now San Jose is obviously not a juggernaut, but when I mentioned 6 games, they played other good teams in that time, including Colorado, Vegas, and others. Playoff teams, Utah, where they limited them. When you watch their defensive game, because I find it interesting that, and I've said it for years, everyone's, the coaching, and I'm like, no, the coach has a system that clearly works when the team decides to play it. What have you seen last night and in those other recent games where they've only allowed the 10 goals in their 6 wins defensively that you feel is repeatable?
I think with the Oilers, like when they're at their best, and it's not even just with the defense, it's the whole group as a 5. When pucks get turned over in the offensive zone or the neutral zone, like watching the forwards backtracking and giving the D, like their D, confidence that they're coming back and applying that back pressure. Now they're able to stay up and hold their gaps tighter because they know they have that support. And you can start to squeeze those offensive players and make them feel uncomfortable, and you end up getting more dump-ins. And if it's not a dump-in, they try and keep possession. Well, now you've poked it off the stick. You have a guy like Bouchard that can grab it, throw it up to the far side. Now you're back into your fast transition game. So to me, almost more than a lot of other teams in the league, as much as you look at McDavid and Draisaitl and Bouchard that put up these crazy numbers, like a lot of that comes from very good defense in the neutral zone and within a few feet of their blue line, being able to stay tight, causing those turnovers. Because again, to me, their team has gotten faster this year. There's no doubt compared to the past couple of years, but the way their speed comes through is moving the puck quick and clean and moving up the ice that way and then letting guys skate onto it.
Yeah, well, they've got a lot of speed. The Oilers, Colorado's really, by the NHL metrics, Colorado's the only team in the NHL who's quicker overall in the Edmonton Oilers. And even if you took out Connor McDavid, they would still be top 6 in bursts of 22 miles an hour plus. So it's not just McDavid. He's obviously super fast, but they have...
Greg's, like, I think a piece of that, though, is where those guys are picking up the puck. So their first burst with it and stuff, like everything is, not a long stretch pass every time, but like it's clearing side to side and someone's coming in with a bunch of speed underneath. There's always speed from underneath. So guys are being able to, even if they're not the fastest, if you put them in a head-to-head race, if you let a guy skate without the puck and then be picking it up in a good position, and they already have their speed picked up, now your team's playing way faster.
Yeah. Well, hey, you look at the Oilers last night, like, I know it was a 5-2, but like it could have been a killer blowout. What Kapanen's play was all individual. He just blew right through the defense. But Jack Roslovic on a stretch pass gets a breakaway. Matt Savoy uses his speed to get a breakaway. Then Dickinson it was a 2-on-1, but the way they played it was like he walked in all alone almost, but 3 of the 4 guys missed the net, unfortunately for the Edmonton Oilers. But they've really been able to transition, even on Roslovic's goal. You look at McDavid, like he caught the other team napping, and the Oilers have some set plays where they send, and they don't even send a guy. They just keep him up there, and it's catching teams in the neutral zone, especially on the long change.
But if you have a guy like McDavid that wants to skate the puck up the ice himself anyway, and more times than not, he's going to get it in, why would you go back, every single one of you go back and support just to let him skate it up, right? Like, let a guy like Roslovic that's really good at getting lost, he's a good skater and can finish, let him have that creativity and freedom to go get lost up top, because if McDavid, if he sees it, he's going to make the play, right? So if he finds the opening like he did, well, it's zipped up, he's on a breakaway and it's a goal, it's up like that. But if not, then Roslovic just keeps his speed, swings to the outside, and now McDavid's joining him. Everything's the same.
Yeah, well, no, that definitely helps. What's your thoughts? Like, if Dickinson's out, Szymanski's probably going to be their third line center, right? Like if Dickinson's in, Szymanski might come out of the lineup because Adam Henrique's been really good lately here down the stretch as your fourth line center and on the penalty kill. But what are your thoughts on Dickinson? On Szymanski, and could he fill the shoes of Dickinson?
Fill the shoes. I mean, his feet would be in them. I don't know if he'd fill them all the way. I think there's more jam to find in Szymanski's game. And I don't mean running around and trying to crush guys, but just in one-on-one battles. And he's still got a bit more to learn. I think he can jump in and do a pretty good job. But if that's the case and it's Henrique and Szymanski as your 3 and 4, I imagine those two are going to switch back and forth a decent amount, depending on different face-off in different areas, how matchups are going at home and away. I think they'll kind of use those two a bit more of an interchange.
The play of Connor Ingram has been pretty solid. He left the game, but he stayed on the bench, which to me meant that they felt like he was good enough to come in if Jarry got injured. That being said, I'm starting Tristan Jarry now on Saturday, regardless. The guy, he had something enough to keep him out of a game. I want my starter ready. I would go to him. What would you do?
Oh, I'm right with you. I don't as much as you want the division, you can't run the risk of going for the division and, again, I haven't heard anything, but a little tight little groin pull to a massive one is not worth that, right? Mm-hmm. And with you, like, the reason I say groin is the fact that he stayed on the bench, and then on one of the TV timeouts, he's out there and just kind of in his butterfly stretching, right? Like, that's one you generally do when you're feeling something a little bit up there. So if he's able to sit there, I'm right with you. I don't think he's too concerned. He also looked like he wasn't very concerned or upset. Yeah. And the upset part to me is the big one, because if he's sitting there with a bigger issue, I don't think you're poker facing it that well. But I'm with you, right? Like, let Jarry play. The other thing that's not terrible in this is, we just played a period again. He plays the game before, and that, what happens, but he plays his period, he makes his 4 saves, he gets a start on Saturday, maybe it goes well, and then he gets that little bit of confidence, and then Ingram's back and feeling good, but maybe he can get a little bit of confidence out of this while giving Ingram the night off.
Landon, it'll be interesting to see Oilers against the Kings. Oilers could be in a playoff spot officially before they play that game on Saturday. You win, they get one more win, they're guaranteed a playoff spot. But now they're actually in the driver's seat to win the division for the first time since '87. 3 games left. I think if you win 2 out of the 3, you give yourself a really good chance. You win 3 out of 3, obviously you give yourself a 100% chance. So we'll see how it goes. Always good to talk to you. Your Detroit Red Wings, they're going to fall officially out of the playoffs tonight?
I mean, it really, really looks like it. It's it's staggering to see how this has happened again. The team's too good to let this happen. It's honestly, it's really tough. Like, as much as, it's fun seeing other teams and different markets get in. There's nothing better than original sixes and teams with a ton of history getting back in.
We will chat with you next Thursday, and by then we will know playoff matchups, so it should be fun. Have yourself a great day.
There we go. I guess we'll have something to talk about.
Awesome. That is Landon Farrow from Sports 1440 pre- and post-game show. I guess technically we might not know all the matchups by next Thursday, but pretty good chance. We know one for sure. Minnesota and Dallas are playing each other. It's just a matter of where, as they're separated by 2 points, and they play tonight, so that's a big game. We'll come back, and we're into April. Ooh, we got a little special Thursday for you next in the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Out on the rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Jeff Brab and 118th.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at hughescarwash.com. Want to invest in Alberta's workforce, fill your talent pipeline, and get funding? Careers, the next generation connects employers with motivated, pre-vetted youth through funded internships. Easy, impactful, and risk-free.
When you work with a group like Careers who have experience in that area, they can demystify and navigate all the complex steps and stakeholders that have to be involved.
Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back to the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And you know what? Our next, he's always timely, really good themes for Thursday. Of course, it is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And today for Thirsty Thursday, always brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, 2 locations. St. Albert Trail, 118th Avenue. That's the OG. And also make it even easier for you Southsiders on the southwest side on 50th Street, 92nd Avenue. Stop in, wine, cocktails, beers, anywhere around the world. They have the best selection in the city and all sorts of non-alcoholic ones. For those of you that are like, you know what? I had a great run. I'm out. Nothing wrong with that. That's pretty good. So you can get good tasting non-alcoholic beverages at Sherbrooke Liquor. David Owens joins us, and today, Dave, I didn't know what the theme was until I moved and I turned one of the beers, and it says Moving Day Lager. So
Right?
I'm guessing we've got a little theme for the Masters
I'm
today.
guessing we got a little Masters theme. Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Okay.
I am, I got to tell you, I'm super stoked. So, with the Master, I love watching golf. And I got married about 20 years ago, had a kid right away, and it was fantastic. Priorities changed. Haven't watched a lot of golf.
Yeah.
Nor played a lot these days, but I still love it. So about 10 years ago, I made a really great appointment to go get my vasectomy, and I booked it on Masters weekend so I could watch the Masters for the first time since I got married. And this weekend is my second time. My kids dropped off, my wife, they're heading off to Europe for a couple of weeks. So I got the Masters weekend. I'm stoked.
Oh, you're just pumped. Honey, have a great trip. I'll miss you. Door
right.
closes. Boom. So, okay.
Freddie Couples, let's do this
Freddie
thing.
Couple.
Wait, yeah.
He might
You're
be
doing
in
all
it.
right this
Yeah,
morning.
they always have a few good holes.
That's right. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so we're going like full on Masters theme here. So, Masters, it's a cool most everybody who knows the Masters has seen the crazy menu they have, $1.50 pimento, sandwiches and egg salad sandwiches, things like that. But there's also some really cool cocktails that we can make out of this. So we've done this. The Azalea is one of their official drinks there. It didn't start when the Masters started. It sort of became a little bit later on. But of course, the Augusta being built on the old flower farm.
Yeah.
Everything's named after flowers there. And the Azalea, those pink blooms, we got this Azalea cocktail. So it's a really delicious, light, easy going, start your early tea time off, right? Gin, some fresh squeezed lemon juice, a little bit of pineapple juice, a little bit of grenadine. Has a beautiful Azalea color to it. And that is just a simple.
That is very tasty.
Tasty, easy pounder out there.
Wow. Like that's a really good, just like you put that on ice.
On
Just a
ice.
nice sipper, not too strong. I like the pineapple.
Yeah, just a little bit of pineapple in there. Really balances it out.
Yeah.
And if you want to fancy it up, put a little garnish of pineapple in there, and maybe a cherry kind of thing, and sit there and enjoy it. Go, especially you think about how warm it is probably there. I haven't seen the weather there right now, but a nice hot day like that.
Oh, it's warm, yeah.
This is perfect for that kind of thing.
So that's just what did you put in it again?
So that is gin, just freshly squeezed lemon juice, and pineapple juice, and some grenadine. A little splash of grenadine. I use the James London Drizzle gin.
Yeah, I see that.
It's fantastic for this kind of thing. So nice, simple London dry gin.
So yeah, for when you're making a cocktail, why are they better for certain ones?
Well, it depends on the botanicals they put into it, right? So there's so many different botanicals. Obviously juniper is the key.
Wow.
But after that, the kind of carte blanche out there, what you can do. So there's some really, like citrus forward or pine forward or things like that. So when you get into just a nice London dry, you're getting a simple juniper forward. It's not going to overpower anything else. So you can pair anything with it.
Okay. All right. And now we've got the move. We got a few beers.
Yeah.
here,
well,
right?
we had to do I looked at the green. I'm like, well, we got to do these,
you got
right?
look at the can.
This one, Moving Day Lager.
Moving Day Lager, and it's in green and white like this. If you're a golfer, you don't have one of these in your bag. You're probably Are you really a golfer?
Are you really a golfer?
Yeah,
Exactly.
sure.
Yeah. So this is out of Town Square Brewing here in Edmonton. Fantastic looking. It's just a simple lager. And the other thing about crushing beers on game day, right? This is a 4.8% or something. I can't.
Yeah, it's just a very
nice,
smooth
light,
lager.
smooth, simple
easy.
lager.
Yeah.
Right, nothing complicated about it, but really well done for a craft lager, and pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's more so if you like to have a little bit of fun, right? If you got a golf tournament with your buddies, moving day lager, like are you playing a summer golf tournament? This one's unreal.
Unreal. It is the go-to for sure.
It would put you in a good mood automatically.
Yeah.
You feel like, you know what? I'm going to have a good day golfing. I'm looking like a golfer.
That's right. And then just because I know that lagers aren't your favorite, so I brought you some Sunny Spectrum.
Okay.
That's a nice West Coast Pale Ale out of Calgary.
Little Masters
Cabin
colors the few shades of green here.
Few shades of green there. Yeah, out of and it's also just a little over 5%, so it's still not too heavy, and you still get that really nice hop, West Coast hop.
Oh god,
just
right? A little bit more flavor in the ales, man. I have to say.
And that is just a really fantastic, well balanced, West Coast style pale ale.
And this is called, what is it called? Cabin Brewing Company?
Yeah, this is the Sunny Spectrum.
Sunny Spectrum.
So Spectrum is sort of their main lineup. They have do all sorts of different spectrums out there, and this one is their West Coast pale.
All right, now we're going back to a cocktail.
All right, now we're going back to a cocktail. So we've kept some gin.
Is this chartreuse?
And that is some chartreuse.
Oh my god!
So
anybody out there? I remember when you used to do chartreuse as a shot. It was one of the worst.
Oh
god! Anybody out there right now? You like chartreuse as a shot?
I love it.
What?
I love it just on its own. I drink it over ice. I drink it, neat.
Maybe I had bad chartreuse.
No, we just didn't have a refined palate back then because we used to also order it to kill people at the bar. Yeah, and we used to call ahead and say, "Hey, can we get a bottle of chartreuse? Throw it on ice." Well, we also found when we started throwing it on ice, started to tame it down a little bit.
Well, of course, anything's easier on ice.
And so I started to develop a taste for it, and now it's one of my favorite. Now this
wow, maybe I haven't had. I remember having chartreuse a few times at the bar, going back to the Goose Looney, Berry Teasday, King's Horse, and it's just like, God, why? And I love I love shooters.
Yeah,
any of my buddies out there, Greg, you idiot, you're the one who made us do a lot of them, right. Which is true. But chartreuse is one that I don't know. Now, I remember the tequila I did in the bar was awful compared to good tequila.
Cheap, awful.
Right. So that's why I'm wondering: is there cheap chartreuse too?
Well, no, there isn't.
Okay.
This is, chartreuse, and it's a very specific. It's made by monks, in France. And they've kind of reduced how much they're making recently too, so it is hard to get. I think we're probably the only place in Alberta that has it right now.
Oof.
And it is a spectacular.
The smell of it brings back
spectacular accompaniment, right? You'll smell it in this cocktail. So because this is the green jacket, so a gin again, a little bit of chartreuse.
Yeah. So how much chartreuse we talking? Like a quarter ounce,
like a half ounce.
Okay, half ounce.
1.5 of gin, half a chartreuse. 3/4 of an ounce of some just like fresh squeezed lemon juice, and just a half ounce of simple syrup in there. And you can smell that chartreuse just on the nose. Oh,
that tastes actually
so
pretty
beautiful.
good. And that's James Gin again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, again, super refreshing.
It's got a little bit of the aroma of the gin. Definitely tames the aroma for sure.
It absolutely balances it all, but you still have that herbaceous
and it's warm
aroma.
It's got a little bit of warminess when you
to
drink it. Yes,
absolutely.
So
great cocktail. Great.
Still don't know if you can convince me to drink chartreuse on ice, but I'm not opposed to anything in life. Yeah. Well, not anything.
Yeah,
there are some things.
Great digestive in France. Like you'll see it in France all the time.
Really?
If you're in France and you order chartreuse as a digestif, they're gonna look at you like, this guy knows what he's doing. 100%.
All right. Well, don't be holding my breath for me getting that look. I guess this guy doesn't know what he's doing. It's likely what it's going to be.
We're going to get you there. We're going to get you there.
Well, I might have to try it. You have. I will say most of your recommendations have been top notch, so I might have to revisit my thoughts on chartreuse.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Anybody out there try one? Let me know.
We'll do another cocktail coming up soon, and I'll do a breakdown of components so you can taste it on its own.
All right. Okay.
All right. The next thing up. Now we're switching to bourbon. Now we're going to the back nine.
Oh yeah,
right.
The old granddad. Look at this bottle. You kidding me?
Bonded. So we've used this to make the crow's nest cocktail.
All right.
So this is old granddad, sweet vermouth, a little bit of cherry liqueur, and just stir with ice and pour into your coupe glass.
So cherry liqueur.
Yeah.
Oh man, you can smell the bourbon
Yeah, it's kind of a play on a Manhattan, right? Oh, that's delicious.
Oh my God. Yeah, bourbon, it's got like it kicks you afterwards, I find. It's always like it's gonna warm you up.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel it in your esophagus a little bit. Maybe not your esophagus, but in that area.
And I love this bourbon for many reasons.
Yeah.
But it is one of the best bourbons out there for
It does
making
actually,
cocktails.
I will say lots of bourbons I find are just too much kick me in the face. This one doesn't.
No.
It's just like a little love tap.
Exactly. And that's what's exciting about this, because this is a bonded bourbon. So bonded means there's laws in the US about bourbon. One of them is bonded. It needs to be a bonded warehouse to be officially called bourbon, and bonded has to be at least 100 proof. So this is a 50% alcohol. And
so that's what 100 proof means, 50% alcohol.
50%.
Okay.
In the US, yeah.
In the US, okay. What about in Canada?
Canada, we usually play the same, but in the UK, you'll see a different system on it. And I can't even explain that one.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, so this is so Old Grandad is great for it because it's strong enough that it'll it stands up to the vermouth or anything that you're putting into your cocktail. You still get that bourbon flavor with it without fading away behind it.
JP says, boys, chartreuse, pineapple juice, and lime juice. Great high school drink.
Ooh.
Swamp water.
All right.
See, my swamp water as a kid was more when you just went to the 7-Eleven and you tried all the different pops or the different slush together.
That's right.
That was a swamp water.
That was a swamp water. That's right. Go down to the old Happy Pop, right? Play some arcade games.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Chartreuse, pineapple juice, lime juice.
Yikes.
Bold, JP.
Very bold.
I like
all
it.
Right.
Okay, and then what do you got left?
When you get to Amen Corner, sometimes you just need a straight pour.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so this is just straight up Old Grandad. Beautiful bourbon on its own.
Oh, man. It's
Drink
a lot
this.
harder, isn't it?
But remember what you do. Hold it. Like we talked about with whiskey, right? Hold it in your mouth. Let it mellow in there, right? It'll get really, really hot, and then it's going to start to mellow.
That is something I don't remember. And I got to write that down somewhere because that totally changes the taste of it. Put it in your mouth, hold it for a bit, then and it is infinitely better.
Yeah. It'll start to really, really heat
What
up
a
in your mouth.
difference. Yes.
When it starts to burn, hold it for 3 or 4 more seconds, then swallow it. And it will completely change the way you enjoy the rest of the beverage with it.
Man, if I was Michael Scott right now, that's what she said. It would be perfect right there. Perfect. But I am telling you that, man, that little tip though for the bourbon, is a game changer. No question.
No question. And I mean, this is what a great bourbon, right? It's smooth. It has that nice heat to it. It leaves a little bit of heat, a little warming piece to it, but it's not kicking your ass. It's not burning anything horribly. It's just a nice warm wave.
Now, because we get a lot of texts coming in, hey, I missed that one. If you go to, we always put up the drinks and everything at our Instagram and stuff, but also you have it now at the website.
Yeah, on the website, the website's up there. Go to our blog post. It should be getting posted any minute now.
Yeah, Sherbrooke Liquor. But I would say, remember that one when you want to have a golf tournament or you go on a golf trip with your fellas. These are a few that you should bring. No question.
No questions asked.
Yes.
These are absolutely, and they're simple things to make, right?
Yes, very much so.
No, so if even if you just put together a little, survival kit of some
gin,
some bourbon, a little chartreuse, maybe, a couple beers, and
he's going to try to get us all chartreuse.
All right, sweet vermouth, and you are banging. You got all sorts of options to be making simple cocktails, more complicated ones, all the above.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I have to say, and now maybe I should try it again because I think I like the Old Grandad straight better, but I didn't hold it in my mouth.
Yeah. But try it again now that you've had that.
Yeah, it's amazing how much softer the flavor is still there.
Yeah.
But there's not that bite at all.
Right.
God, that's amazing. Why is that? Just because we get used to it?
Well, what happens is it activates your saliva heavily, right?
Okay.
And so when your saliva starts going, it actually starts to water it down. And as you're watering it down, you're diluting it.
Okay.
So it's just like adding a little bit of water to it or something. And lots of people talk to you about when you're tasting whiskeys and drop a little bit of water into it if you need to, especially if it's overproof or cask strength.
Great stuff, Davey. Have yourself, who are you picking to win in the Masters?
Oh man, I got so many. Obviously McIlroy. I'd love to see him do a back-to-back. I was hoping that Aberg would do well. I haven't seen where he's at yet today.
I thought he had a good start, but then I think
he looked like he started early. I don't know or started pretty well, but and of course, the romantic, favorite is definitely Freddie and that swing of his.
Yeah. Well, Aberg is at +1. He's tied for 30th.
Okay.
Currently. So
he's had a back.
Freddie Couples is a +2. +2. So after one day, things stay the same. It's looking like got a good chance to make the cut. So
yeah.
There you go. That'd be it. That'd be a call. At his age, man, you make the cut. Age? That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, was he 60? No, he's 70.
Yeah, somewhere around there for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, my man.
Right
well, always good to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks very much.
We will see you next Thursday.
I think you'll get Steven next week.
No, well, hey.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go fly off and meet the girls in Paris. And,
have fun
for a little bit. And
well, make sure you have your chartreuse so it looks like
I will have some chartreuse there. It's it's readily available there, and
I like it.
And we'll get into Belgium too for a little bit. So we've got some beers coming my way.
Yes, perfect. We'll have some beers when you come home. I like it.
Right on.
There you go.
Perfect.
That's Thirsty Thursday brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. If you are looking for new tires, just dare to dream. The snow, it's going to go away. It's going to go away, I promise. Get some summer slicks on. Maybe you need an oil change to get you ready for the summer. They do it all in one stop. FountainTire.com.
This is a sports 1440 update.
Big night in NHL. 4 teams with a chance to qualify for the playoffs. The Oilers, one of them. You got the Leafs and the Islanders meeting. Sabres, Jackets. Lightning in Montreal. Sens taking on the Panthers, Flyers, Red Wings, Devils, Penguins. Jets up against the St. Louis Blues, Blackhawks, Hurricanes, Flames in Colorado, Mammoths, the Preds, Sharks taking on the Ducks, and the Golden Knights up against the Kraken. Canucks in LA taking on the Kings. Major League Baseball. 3 games tonight. Mets, Diamondbacks, White Sox in Kansas City, and the Padres take on the Rockies. Earlier today, Marlins over the Reds 8-1. The Athletics blank the Yankees 1-0, and the Tigers fall to the Twins 3-1. Jays will take on those Twins tomorrow, 5 o'clock. You can hear that one on our AM radio feed just after 6. In the association, Toronto Raptors looking to make it 2 straight over the Heat when they meet at 5 o'clock. Elsewhere, Celtics and Knicks, Rockets, Sixers, Pacers taking on the Nets, and the Warriors hosting the Lakers at the Masters round 1 action right now. Sam Burns and Rory McIlroy atop the leaderboard at 5 under par. When it comes to the Canadians in the field, Nick Taylor -1, Corey Connors +3, Mike Weir 8 over par. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll talk some Islanders with Ethan Sears and speed things up in the Cantor Racing Report with Colin Livingston. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Right on.
There you go.
Tasting just the right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. Delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So sit on your couch all day.
Book X and Instagram. Hope.
Oodle Noodle.
Cantork has turned 25. That's
Already?
right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
Want sports talk on the go?
X and Instagram.
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
Is your business ready to grow? Not sure how? We have your solution. We
our Stingray. Whether your customers are around the corner or across the country, Stingray connects you with radio to digital advertising, including connected TV, search and social, programmatic, digital advertising, and digital out of home. From idea to execution, we've got you covered. With creative and production, cross-platform integration, detailed reporting, and one-on-one support, it's the easy way to make your business grow. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I am a used RV salesman. But just because I love being a used RV salesman doesn't mean you would like doing my job all day long.
If you're selling your RV privately, that means that you have to be an RV salesman too.
That's right, Bob, and there's a lot of work involved. You have to find the customers, be ready to show it at a time and place that's convenient for the other guy, all the stuff you take for granted when you come to No Bull.
There's not a lot of glamour in being a used RV salesman, Rick.
I don't do it for the glamour, Bob. I love helping people enjoy the great outdoors on their terms. It's my life's work, but it doesn't have to be yours. When you sell your quality used RV with us, we take care of everything. Cleaning, repairs, commercials like this one to bring people in, and besides, I like being a used RV salesman a lot more than you do.
And that's No Bull. NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people that know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Just after 3 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. How are you? Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province of PlayAlberta.ca. It is the daily grand, $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. You can win it. That's $7.3 million. Get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, check out the Gregor Show odds boost. We went on a little bit of a few long shots today, Con Man, with the Ottawa Islanders and the Kings all to win by 2 goals. So we'll see. The Islanders desperately need a win. Ottawa needs a win. They're playing Florida. You got to think that at some point they're going to win. You look at the Islanders playing Toronto. Like, come on. The Maple Leafs are banged up. They got lots of young guys playing. You got to win that game. If you want to make the playoffs, you got a brand new head coach. You got to win. And then they have the LA Kings tonight taking on the last place Vancouver Canucks. My goodness. If you want to make the playoffs, you're the LA Kings, that is a must-win game. So there you go. We'll see what happens at PlayAlberta.ca. Coming up this hour, we will hear from Ethan Sears from New York, talk about the Islanders. Pete DeBoer, second latest in a season that a coach has ever made his debut with the team. Of course, the latest was 3 games left back in 2007, the New Jersey Devils, when Lou Lamoriello fired Claude Julien and took over. Now, they did win. Now, they were in first place, though. That's the difference. When they did it, they were in first place. The Islanders, obviously, they felt like it was time to make a change. And if you're going to do it, I guess do it now. So it's this year plus, I think, another 3 years for Pete DeBoer as the head coach of the Islanders, and we'll see. Can they need a little bit of a miracle when you look at the playoff race today? The Islanders come in 11th place. They got 4 games left. They're tied with Detroit, but Detroit has the tiebreaker for 10th. They're 3 points back at the Senators. The Sens own the tiebreaker, so I'd argue they're 4 back. The Islanders could catch the Flyers, though, so that's their one kind of saving grace. And they do have the tiebreaker over the Islanders, so 3 back of the Flyers are the Islanders. So I still don't love their chances, I'll say that. But the big game tonight is a team that you lose this game tonight, especially in regulation. It's lose in any factor. I think it's good night, Irene, for the Detroit Red Wings. You're at home. You're taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. Massive is even an understatement for this game. This is a must-win game, and this doesn't guarantee you the playoffs. This is just like if you're down 3-0 in the series, you just want to stay alive. That's what this game is for the Detroit Red Wings. This is a stay alive in the race game. You win, then you need Ottawa and the Flyers. Now, the Flyers, obviously, if you win, they're losing. Now, you got to beat them in regulation. Although you can't catch Philly realistically in the where they're currently residing at third in the Metro. But because of where Columbus is at and everything else, you're still battling for a wild card spot. So we shall see. The Buffalo Sabres are taking on, after a big win last night, the Sabres are taking on the Blue Jackets. So Columbus, Zach Werenski, who I think is Evan Bouchard's probably biggest competitor for the Norris Trophy. And Zach Werenski, like if Zach Werenski wins, I honestly don't believe that Oilers fans can freak out. Because I have an article. It's coming out. Took a little bit of pause for it when we went for a holiday for a few days, but I'll have it out by next week, maybe even earlier. And it's a history on it to kind of, if you're into long reads and you like history, like I like to, if I'm going to debate and discuss something, so let's look at it, the history. Because when someone tells me, there's more than points, I'm like, sure, there are other factors, but make no mistake, other than 2 years, the 2 years that Rod Langway won, and you can argue that it did not make much sense, but those are the only 2 years where the voters said points don't matter. Every other year, points were a significant one. It didn't guarantee you a win, but it put you in the running, right? There's nothing that guarantees you the win, but it put you in the run. Those are the only 2 years where it was like, you know what? Like, I still understand how Paul Coffey could have 126 freaking points, be plus 52, and not win. He almost had 100 more points than Rod Langway. 100 more freaking points and you lose. Like, give me a break. Like, man, like they should do a 30 for 30 on that. Let's go and let's talk to all the voters. Because I'll tell you what happened. Rod Langway lost it in 82 to Doug Wilson. That year, Rod Langway was a plus 66, which is really good. For a guy who's not on the ice, right? Like, he was on the ice protecting leads, sure. He wasn't a guy who was on there. He wasn't going to get a lot of, it's like, in a way, it probably benefited him because he was on the ice when, they weren't trying to get the goal. He was never on the ice to give up the empty netter. He was on the ice to protect it. So he probably got a few empty net plus points for sure. But either way, he's plus 66. Decent defensive numbers that year. He didn't win. So the next year, the voters said, you know what? We did, and I hate that. As a voter myself, I can tell you, I don't look at who won last year. It's irrelevant to me because it has nothing to do. There's nowhere where it says in my voting, if this person's had a really good career, it's their turn to win. That's not part of it. It has nothing to do with it. The minute someone mentions that, give me a break. Right? Like when John Buccigross mentioned that Zach Werenski, if everything's close because he won the Olympic gold, and then he tried to walk it back and say I was joking. No, you weren't. There was nothing in your tone that said you were joking. Nowhere before, after, or during hinted you were joking. You only said you were joking afterwards because people ripped you about it because, no offense, it's a terrible take. Lots of us can make really smart comments. That can be a terrible take. That was a terrible take. The Olympics is irrelevant. It has nothing to do with it. Nothing. Like, why would you even mention that? But either way, Zach Werenski's had a hell of a year. Now, I don't believe in the wording of the award. This is an individual award. Most valuable to your team is the only award where I think making the playoffs matters because it's value to your team. And making or not making the playoffs is a pretty big difference. But when it's like, who's the best defenseman? You can be the best defenseman, have an unbelievable season on a team that doesn't make the playoffs. Because you can't control everybody else. You can't. It's impossible. Right? Can't do it. That's why the wording of the heart is most valuable to your team. And your value is if I don't make the playoffs, well, we still would have been a non-playoff team without my great season. So the Norris is who's the best defenseman. Not who's the best defenseman that makes playoffs. It's who's the best defenseman. Right? There's no value involved. It's just like who's the best D-man. And of course, it's going to be subjective. We're all going to have different opinions. And if Evan Bouchard doesn't win and Zach Werenski wins, I'd be fine with it. I'll tell you right now, there is zero, and I mean zero reason for anybody to suggest that Quinn Hughes should finish higher than Evan Bouchard this year. There's nothing to suggest it. Because if you're going to tell me that, oh, well, Evan Bouchard has a few too many giveaways. Really? Well, he might have some giveaways. I don't discount that. But look at his 5-on-5 numbers. They're way better. Quinn Hughes is an even player overall, right? You look at his numbers overall 5-on-5. They're not dominant. And you can't say, well, it's Minnesota. No, that's not how it works. Because no one ever wins the award based on 50 games in an 82-game season. And that's what he's going to play in an 82-game season. He's going to play about 50 of them with the Minnesota Wild. His numbers in Vancouver were not good. Offensively, defensively, they weren't good. Right? Like you look at him 5-on-5, he's 10 points less than Bouchard 5-on-5. And he doesn't score enough goals for me. Like that's what separates Werenski. Werenski's got 17 goals 5-on-5. That's big time production, man. He leads defenseman in 5-on-5 scoring, and he's missed 7-8 games. You got Werenski, then Hudson, then Bouchard as your top three guys in 5-on-5 scoring. Right? So there are arguments before all Oiler fans get their nose in a joint. It's only Bouchard. It can't just be Bouchard or bust. Like if someone picks Werenski 1 and Bouchard 2, I can see the reasons why you would do that. There's lots of stats to back it up. Just like if you pick Bouchard 1 and Werenski 2, even Lane Hudson, I could see how someone would look at Lane Hudson and say, you know what? Pretty good season. Look at his goals for. Look at his goals against. I like that. Look at his production. It's pretty good. Right? Like Werenski, the difference that Werenski has compared to Hudson and Bouchard and Makar is he doesn't have a dynamic offensive player. And make no mistake, there's going to be nights where you will get easier assists because of it. You just do. Right? You just do. So, like you look at Lane Hudson's 4 goals against 5-on-5. It's pretty impressive. He's plus 33. So I could see how someone would say, hey, I like Lane Hudson. You look at his expected goals, his shots for, all that stuff. It's good. Right? So I can at least see, I can't see anything for Hughes. I'm sorry, I don't. There's not one statistic. He's been on for 10 more goals against 5-on-5 than Bouchard. Right? Doesn't have the production of Bouchard. Doesn't have the goals of Bouchard. So what the hell is he doing that's better? None. Like Quinn, I'm not even sure Quinn Hughes should be a top 5 finalist, to be honest. But Lane Hudson, Evan Bouchard, Zach Werenski, Cale Makar. I could see Mo Seider, Darren Radish. Those are other guys. I think that they get some significant votes. I'd understand why they would. Right? Jacob Chychrun even. I'd look at Jacob Chychrun ahead of Quinn Hughes, to be honest, this year. When you look at Chychrun, man, he is plus 33 5-on-5. That's pretty damn good on a Washington team that is not very plus 5-on-5. So Jacob Chychrun's had himself a hell of a season. So those are, so I just, when people, the people are idiots if they don't vote for Bouchard. No. When you believe, you at least have to accept that you're an Oiler fan and you're a diehard Oiler fan and you have a bias to Bouchard. It's fine. That's okay. That's what you should be as a fan. But to call other people stupid because they're analyzing all the other numbers, and some other guys do have fair arguments. Quinn Hughes is the one I keep seeing his name up there, and I'm like, sorry, there's nothing. Well, he's almost a point per game player. But what do you mean almost? Like, hey, I'm almost 6'1", but I'm not. 6 feet and 3/4. Right? That's how it goes. If I was in baseball, it wouldn't be 6'1". So almost means nothing. Unless you're playing horseshoes, I guess. It's almost a ringer. Oh, it's a leaner. All right, I get 2 points instead of 3. I still get something. Being an almost point-a-game player just makes you not a point-a-game player. That's all it does. When we return, Ethan Sears will join us. Can Pete DeBoer pull a little magic out of his hat with 4 games to go for the New York Islanders? We'll find out next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpot's Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win games with salad.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell. And we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me. GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street or business online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turf. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
We continue on Thursday afternoon. No change yet atop the leaderboard at the Masters as Sam Burns and Rory McIlroy are still at 5 under, but lurking Justin Rhodes. He's now up to 4 under par through 13. So there's a chance we could have maybe a 3-way tie. Top of the leaderboard heading into Friday. And Nick Taylor still tied for 13th at -1. So he is the top Canadian. Corey Connors, he's tied for 42nd. He's at +2, and he's through 15. So we'll need a few good holes here to try to improve his standing a little bit. Big night in the National Hockey League tonight. 14 games. Lots of them with playoff implications. We could see some teams pretty much punch their ticket to the playoffs tonight and also punch their way out of the playoffs tonight. And it's time to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. You thought the hype was over? Think again. After its viral debut in 2023, the legendary Chicken Big Mac is officially making its comeback in Canada. Here for a limited time, only at McDonald's. And speaking of comebacks, this team will need a comeback. They got a new head coach with only 4 games left in the regular season. Patrick Roy is out. Pete DeBoer is in. Islanders beat reporter writes at the New York Post, Ethan Sears, joins us. Ethan, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me, Jason.
Well, Ethan, kind of take me through your thought process and when you heard the news that Roy was out and DeBoer was in.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a surprise, obviously, in the sense of the timing. I don't think the decision itself was a shock. The night before, after that game in Carolina, I think I had even written, that was the kind of performance that gets people fired. The Islanders had been in a playoff spot for 3+ months. They now probably need to go 4-0 to get in. They were 3-7 in their last 10 games under Patrick Roy. And it just seemed very clear from the last few games in particular that they did not have urgency. They did not have the sort of desperation that was needed at this time of year, and that Patrick's message maybe just wasn't getting through. And my thought process coming out of Carolina was, if they don't turn this around and don't make the playoffs, there's probably going to be a coaching change. Obviously, the Islanders did that when I expected, but the move itself didn't shock me. The timing did.
Well, the timing is rare. There's only been one team in NHL history to fire a coach later, and that was the 2007 Devils when they removed Claude Julien. They were in first place, though. Listening to Darsh, and he signed DeBoer. Basically, his contract ends the same time as Darsh's contract, so they're obviously tied together. And, it's no surprise Patrick Roy wasn't the guy that Darsh hired. A lot of people thought that, eventually this change would come, and so it did. And, they said, hey, if we're going to do it in the offseason, we might as well do it now so we get the guy we want. And that all makes a sense. Did you see anything in what Patrick Roy was? I don't even know if it's systemic per se, as, was there a disconnect between him and the players?
I think just those last few games, you started to see like that lack of urgency and lack of desperation. And they came out in the first period on Friday against Philadelphia, got outshot something like 14-2. They went down 3-0 by early in the second, and then talked after that game about how that wasn't acceptable and yada, yada, yada. And then one night later in Carolina, a worse version of the same thing happened, where at one point in that game, the shots were 36-6. And now, look, Carolina's a really good team. They, we caveat that however you want. It's a tough building to come in, but the game the Islanders absolutely had to have, and they just came out with nothing. And, when that's happening, I think the first place you look, fair or not, is kind of to the head coach. And, is his message getting through? And it's obvious from just the fact that they let him go that the answer was no. As to the sort of specific stuff that Frank Saravalli said yesterday, I can't speak to that, but I certainly think it's clear that that the message wasn't getting through, and the Islanders just kind of weren't playing for him towards the end.
Yeah. Did you see that? Do you feel in how they played?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, I think just a real lack of kind of desperation and oomph to their game that showed up in, say 2 to 4 games in a row, all of which coming in were like games that they had to win, and they lost all of them. And now you're looking at a situation where, they're not mathematically eliminated. They could run the table and get some help and get in, but they went from a team that had, 80%-ish playoff odds and felt pretty good about it, to a team that is, 10 to 20% shot of getting in, right? And is going to need some real help here for this season to not be a disappointment.
Yeah, well, it's fine because you're right. At the start of the year, I'm not sure people thought the Islanders would have the season they had, and Matthew Schaefer kind of changed everything. He comes on and he's been unbelievable as a rookie defender, playing huge minutes and producing lots, and the Islanders became a very, very exciting team to watch, right? And I'm not sure that was necessarily the coaches doing. So Pete DeBoer comes in. Now, he's got a great opportunity in his first game. You're taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are not a very good team, and now they're depleted lineup. They got a lot of injuries. They got another injury last night to goaltending. They've had to emergency recall a few guys from the American League. Well, they're going to be hungry to play, don't get me wrong, but you probably couldn't ask for a better first game if you're Pete DeBoer.
Yeah, and I mean, look, 3 days is not a lot of time to install a system or learn a team. He's tried to make some changes. 3 days, I guess, is more than you could hypothetically get. But like, what we need to see from the Islanders tonight is like a team that looks like it is playing for its life. And like, it certainly helps if they're playing the Leafs, but if they come out flat again, really, if they come out flat in any of these last 4 games, it's just a further indictment on the group that, if you're Matthew Darche right now, I think you kind of have to be thinking about, are there sort of big picture overhauls that need to happen in the off season? Because first of all, the sort of what we've seen the last week, really last 2-3 weeks, isn't acceptable. And their underlying numbers for a lot of the season, they've all said it. Ilya Sorokin is the reason that this team is not in a significantly worse spot.
Yes.
If you look at kind of the chances allowed and some of the advanced stats, and certainly that meshes with, what you see just watching them on a nightly basis.
Well, that was my next question. Like, regardless of if the team hasn't played for them, like, their goaltender has made them look a lot better than their record. Is that fair to say? Like, he's been unreal and should be probably the leader for the Vezina Trophy, him and Vasilevsky.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I don't have a vote for the Vezina Trophy, but if I did, I would certainly vote for Ilya Sorokin. Obviously, I see him every night, so I'm a little biased there. But yeah, I mean, I think if you sort of dig into some of the advanced numbers and look hard into that and the goals saved above expected and what have you, like it's pretty clear that Ilya Sorokin is the biggest reason that the Islanders ever were in a playoff spot or still have a chance to make the playoffs versus being, pretty well further down the standings. This is a team that kind of all year has, they've scored a lot off the rush. They've, won a lot of games that, the puck has been in their own end a lot of the night, and they've sort of pulled games out, and you can call that resilient, and sure, it sort of is, but it's probably not ideal, and it's also really hard to sustain, and you've kind of seen that these last 10 games where it's come back on them.
Ethan Sears joins us. So, Ethan, looking at the lineup, and you look at Schaefer, has he shown any signs of fatigue or tired at all?
Not really. Maybe the odd games here or there, where it's just not his night. But, really, for the most part, I would say, like, look, the guy's playing, 24 to 28 minutes a night.
Crazy.
It feels like there are nights where you kind of, throughout the game, you think, oh, maybe he's, like, kind of not doing it great. And then at the end of the night, you look and he's got, like, 2 assists and, 3 block shots or whatever. Okay, well, I guess that was pretty good. And I mean, yeah, it's just honestly, like the year he's put together is just incredible to see. And what he's been able to do at age 18 as a defenseman has been it's just fun to watch, and sort of just every night it sort of wows you, even the nights where he's not at his best, he seems to be doing something that, he'll at least make 1 or 2 plays that kind of make you shake your head and say, like, geez, this kid is something else.
Quickly, if you look at DeBoer, is there one thing that you expect him, and I know it's only 4 games, but is there one significant change you're going to see in his approach or system that we didn't see prior in the first 78 games?
I think that you're going to see at least an attempt to add some more structure to their defensive zone and to their breakouts. Those are 2 areas that, like we just talked about, were really sort of consistent problems under Patrick Law, and that are sort of in need of looking at and tweaking from a systemic perspective. Now, whether 3 days of practice is enough to, like, do everything that you would ideally want to do, I don't think so. But certainly from talking to players over the last few days, you're going to see some tweaks, and the extent of how that kind of meshes with what they were doing before and the sort of compromises that Pete DeBoer has to make just because he doesn't have that much time. That's something that we're going to need to see how it plays out. But those are the 2 places that I would say I'm really looking at as, is this going to look substantially different? Are they going to, change what they've been doing?
Ethan, enjoy the game tonight, and we'll see if the Islanders can find a way to get back in the playoffs. Appreciate your time.
Amen. Thanks so much, Jason.
There you go. That's Ethan Sears joining us from New York. The Islanders, like a few other teams, Detroit, they are in the chase position alongside the Columbus Blue Jackets. They only got 89 points. The Capitals also have 89 points after the win last night, but they've only got 3 games left, so even harder for them to want to get in. But the Blue Jackets, the Red Wings, and the Islanders, you got to win. They're pretty much must-win games tonight. And the Blue Jackets definitely have the hardest one. They're in Buffalo. Meanwhile, the Islanders host the Maple Leafs, and the Red Wings are hosting the Red Hot Flyers, so that will far from an easy game per se. But Columbus on the road in Buffalo, that's the toughest one. We'll see if they can get a win. We'll come back, and hey, could one of the greats, could this be his last year? We'll discuss it next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or on the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Shulman for the games live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell, helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. Ewell.ca, your partners in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
$3:45. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show wherever you're at. YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, not Switch. The race for first of the Masters, Justin Rose is getting closer. 4 under. Got 4 holes to go. See where it's at. The defending champ, Rory McIlroy, clubhouse leader alongside Sam Burns. If you're wondering, Scotty Scheffler is at 2 under so far through 12 holes. It's time now for the racing report, brought to you by Can Torque, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantorque.com. It's Colin Livingston joins us once again, and man, there's lots to discuss. Of course, it's been a few weeks since F1, but they're back on track. And the new regulations. I know you're obviously a diehard racer. You've raced for a long time, and there was they caught it. Lewis Hamilton talking to his engineer, and his quote was, "Where can I catch him, Piastri? He's pulling away in the straights." And his engineer says, 15% less throttle into turn 6 for more power. And you're like, well, that just kind of goes, it's kind of the opposite of what racers have been doing their entire life.
It makes no sense. As a race fan, I understand that some people like what's going on because they're seeing passing. And, there's a number of passes, and a lot of these, what are being called yo-yo passes, where a guy's running out of energy because his battery's dying. So somebody makes a pass, but they've overused their battery to get to him. Then they pass back, But this is all, predicated on nonsense. These are not, I really, really appreciate talent passes where a driver can throw it in a little further, keep the car under control, outbrake somebody, their car's handling better, they got more power, whatever it is. more legitimate engine power. But these passes are just, they're ridiculous. I mean, Lando Norris talked about wanting to follow Lewis Hamilton later on in that race. And he said, I didn't want to pass him, but the car decided to pass. Like, the car decided to deploy the energy as he was trying to not deploy the energy, meaning these drivers are not really in control anymore. Like, yes, they get to handle the steering wheel, all the dials and knobs and settings, but the computer has started to decide when to harvest, when to deploy. It's a mess. Like, again, I can appreciate the people who are watching and like, oh, it's great passing and it's great to see passing. And I remember the year where blah, blah, blah won by 48 seconds and that's boring. Fine. But this has gone way, way, way too far.
Yeah. There's no way to really change it this year, is there?
They're meeting this week. I mean, obviously there's a big break with Saudi and Bahrain off the calendar. So we got, I think it's 3 more weeks left before Formula One's back on track. And they're trying to figure out how to handle what they have with this 50-50 split. If there's a way that they can change the harvesting rules and what can deploy and blah, 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 to make the cars a little bit more predictable. But realistically, I think at best they're going to end up with Band-Aids. They're going to end up with, it's not going to be solved. It might get a little less bad is about all we can hope for.
Okay. Now there is some big news when you look at Max Verstappen and his longtime engineer. Rumors are he's going to leave and he's going to join McLaren. So he's going to finish the season. Then he has to, now by the rules, he has to take a year off. Is that how it works?
Depends on what his contract is with Red Bull and how much they want to control that situation. Now, it's no longer a rumor. It is confirmed. Red Bull has confirmed that GP is leaving. McLaren has confirmed that they have signed him. Now, his contract, I believe, was set to run through the end of 2027. But my guess is they will run him through the end of this year. They'll say that's it because they obviously they don't want to keep him in, inside the brain trust so he can find out where all the development is going, what all the upcoming stuff is, what direction they're going, where they're spending money, et cetera, et cetera. They'll make him take a year off, and then 2028, he should be joining McLaren. But there's obviously going to be some wrinkles from that as well.
Yeah, well, one of those wrinkles, because back in 2021, Max Verstappen said, I only work with GP as soon as he stops, I stop too. Now, lots of people say things. Max Verstappen is not old by any stretch of the imagination, but it's already had a lot of people saying, oh, could this be the last year of Max Verstappen?
And it would not surprise me one bit to see Max hang him up at the end of the season. He despises this format. He doesn't like the way these cars drive. That again, the drivers aren't in control. And the idea to get to Formula One and to run a Formula One car and not push it to its extremes is something that Max will never reconcile himself with. This idea that you're going down the straightaway and you've got to downshift so you get more engine RPM and you're losing 50 kilometers an hour from your top speed halfway down the straightaway before you get to the braking zone. I can understand how frustrated Max is with the whole pile of people that have left Red Bull in the last, 2 years, Christian Horner, Helmut Marko, Jonathan Wheatley, and now is his main engineer. And I mean, there's countless others that have, either packed it in or been poached by other teams. It's not a real stretch to say that, he's not enjoying himself this year. Their car is not competitive. They've got a good engine, but the car's, the chassis is not great and the car's overweight. He's not going to be winning races this year unless, some kind of freak situation, some kind of fluke situation presents itself. And then, like I said, with GP walking away, it would not surprise me a bit for him to just say, you know what? I've made my money. I've got 4 championships. I'm going to go run, I'm going to go run touring cars, or I'm going to go spend time. We just had a daughter. I'm going to go spend time at home. He doesn't need the money. He's got other, he'll have sources of income the rest of his life. And, when they put their season together 2 years ago, that will likely never be touched. They've kind of done everything that they need to do. Now, even if they weren't competitive, to have a car that you could still drive like a Formula One car would still kind of satisfy that, because you can't get that anywhere else. But without that, I just don't see the point of him sticking around.
Yeah, he'd only be 29. So that's pretty young to now I guess he could Barry Sanders it. That's always possible. But that'll be an interesting one. Now, some good news for North American racing fans. F2 is going to compete in North America for the first time.
Yep.
And they're going to be added to the Miami and Montreal races. This is a result of the cancellations in Saudi and Bahrain. So for racing fans, because I know there's lots of people out there that are going to go to F1, and so you'll get the opportunity to see F2. Kind of how big of a deal is this for North America and racing here? And what should you expect for those who are going to either watch the races or go to those races?
I mean, it's going to be fun. Realistically, I think Formula 2 is putting on much better racing than Formula 1 right now. Like, the cars aren't comparable. They're, much lower power, but they're still driven conventionally. They have an internal combustion engine. They have decent power. They're relatively lightweight. And it really, in their series, a lot of it comes down to how you manage your tires, but still they're able to race. And you see lots of passes because they're, up and coming drivers. For the most part, you see a fair bit of mistakes being made. So there are incidents, people are crashing. So there's lots of opportunity for positional changes through pit strategy and stuff like that. But it's going to be really cool now, because Colton Herta, who obviously made his career in IndyCar, he's moved over to the Formula Series. He'll get to come back and do a couple of races at home. He'll be very familiar with the Miami track as well as the Montreal track. So it'll be fun to see him racing, quote unquote, locally. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be add a little bit of excitement to the weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I just kind of wonder where do they slide it in then into Montreal? Like, does it just extend the racing day, or do they do it earlier? How does it work?
There's obviously gaps in the schedule. And maybe, one of the support series, because I mean, you've been to a Formula One race, it's not just Formula One. There's like Porsche Cup, and then there's this
one
and
of those
that.
is
And
probably gone, I would guess.
Yeah, or they just manipulate and stretch the day out a little bit, or compress some of the other series. It's I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's, when this is the second, tier series, to kind of compress the rest of the sport series isn't that big of a deal.
Due to the cancellations, IndyCar is off until next weekend. You've got 3 more weeks until Miami for F1. So those of you that are diehard race fans, you're kind of itching. The Pro Kart Series is racing outside of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And people can watch it on YouTube if they want.
Yeah. Kart Chaser. What's really cool is, because it's an IndyCar off weekend, Scott McLaughlin, who races for Penske, Will Power, who's, always raced for Penske, but this year he's with Andretti, they're going to enter, at least they're scheduled to enter and run in Pro Shifter. So, for people who don't normally watch karting, if you're interested in racing, obviously there's no IndyCar, there's no F1. Give it a shot. Go onto YouTube. There's going to be a lot of free sessions that you can watch through Kart Chaser. To watch the finals, you likely need a membership, which is, I don't know, $20 a month or something like that, and you can cancel at the end of the month. But to get to watch current drivers like McLaughlin and Will Power, who are obviously still at the top of their game, to race against guys who are in shifter carts all the time, it's going to be pretty kick-ass.
So what's going to be the biggest challenge for Power and McLaughlin?
Just lack of seat time in these cars. Obviously they grew up in these things, but going to a full-size Indy car where you've got, call it 700-800 horsepower, you've got crazy amounts of downforce. The way you drive those cars is totally different than the way you would drive a shifter kart. Will actually has his own go-kart brand, so he spends a fair bit of time in the seat, testing, playing, demonstrating. But when you're not working with your crew on a regular basis, you're not in that racing environment, you're just a little bit, you're just not quite in sync. But these guys know what they're doing. So, they're going to be competitive as long as they don't have mechanical issues. They're going to have, the series regulars are going to be shooting for them. So I think it's going to be great, and then there's, the rest of the series, these X30 Pro and the K Senior. Again, these are for people who don't watch, karting or don't participate in it. Those are going to be like some of the biggest fields or some of the more competitive fields.
One last one with the F1 cars, the race is canceled. I know usually when you have the long break in the summer, you're not allowed to do any work. Are you allowed to be working on vehicles during this downtime?
Yeah, this isn't like the summer break where it's mandated to stop the factory. This is like a gap. This is like an off weekend. So yeah, they're absolutely like today Ferrari was on track, doing a tire test. They've got a filming day coming up that they're going to use as an unofficial test. They want to, Ferrari's getting they're allowed to make the modifications to their power unit because they're, further than 2% behind the Mercedes. So yeah, I mean, there's still lots going on behind the scenes. Again, the teams are going to be talking to the series about trying to come up with a way to, make the racing a little bit more predictable. Again, we didn't even talk about it, but the accident between Ollie Berman and Colapinto, where there was like a 90 kilometer an hour differential. Colapinto's car went into full harvest mode where Berman was coming up at full speed into one of the tighter little kinks on the straightaway. Colapinto was looking in his mirror and just, subconsciously veered a little bit left. Berman had to swerve and went into the wall. 50 G impact for Berman. These are the kinds of things that are happening with this new regulation that just don't make any sense. Somebody is going to get killed if they keep things going. Like if they raced at a track like Saudi, which is a street circuit, you can't see around these corners. Like it's all walled. You just can't see what's coming. Or like Monaco, there's a lot of blind stuff. If somebody's in that harvest mode and you don't know that you're coming up to these guys, and there's that kind of differential, it's an absolute disaster. So, again, hopefully some of the common sense can play out. It's unthinkable that the series will take these new power units that have just been developed and, hundreds of millions of dollars have been spent to get them made and just throw them in the garbage after whatever we've had, 3 races. But it's coming.
Okay. Call, have yourself a great weekend. When do you guys get back? Well, it's obviously not until what, May? So you guys get on track here?
May 16th is the first weekend for us. So we'll be running the NASCAR Canada Series in the number 80. And then that'll be the debut for Tag One Motorsport, the Radical team. I don't know if we're going to be doing the third car yet, but yeah, I'll be busy. It's going to mean that I'll have to miss a bunch of Thursdays because when we run out in Ontario on Friday now, or when traditionally we would run NASCAR Saturday, Sunday. So I would fly on Friday. Now I'm going to have to fly out on Thursday because we'll be on track with the Radical on Friday. So
I'll never let your day job get in the way of this job. Okay.
Well, you know what? These are both the day hobbies. So, but the good news is we can do this by phone or, however, so.
All right, yeah.
And you bumped me to enough Fridays, so maybe we'll just have to take up the Friday slot.
No big problem. No big problem at all. Awesome. Okay, man. Well, have yourself a good weekend. We'll chat with you next week.
Thanks, man.
Let's go on Livingston in the race report. Brought to you by Can Torque, as it's time for Connor Halley and a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Go Auto. Over 15,000 vehicles for you to choose from. Whichever ride you're thinking about, car, van, truck, SUV, they have it. Your color, your price. GoAuto.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Busy night in the NHL starting at 4:45. Leafs and Islanders, followed by the Sabres, Jackets, Lightning head to Montreal. Sens host the Panthers, Flyers, and Red Wings. Devils up against the Jets take on the Blues. Stars, Wild, Flames, Avalanche, Mammoth host the Preds, Sharks in Anaheim, Kraken host the Golden Knights, and the Canucks taking on the Kings in the majors. 3 games tonight. Mets, Diamondbacks, White Sox in Kansas City, and the Padres taking on the Rockies. Earlier today, the Marlins beating up on the Reds 8-1. Yankees fall at home to the Athletics 1-0. And there was the Twins over the Tigers 3-1. In the association tonight, the Raptors and Heat meeting once again. Tip off at 5 o'clock. You've also got the Bulls and the Wizards. Nets host the Pacers. Celtics in New York taking on the Knicks. Rockets up against the Sixers, and the Lakers meet the Golden State Warriors. Masters Day 1 action right now. Sam Burns and Rory McIlroy atop the leaderboard, 5 under par. Justin Rose through 15, 4 under. When it comes to the Canadians, Nick Taylor at the top, -1. Corey Connors 3 over. Mike Weir +8. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll talk some Flyers with Ken Cruz of The Athletic and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more.
Good weekend. We'll chat with you next
communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
A Saskatchewan boy who grew up loving and playing sports. At least we think he grew up. Listen to Kevin Carius weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's home for sports. Sports 1440.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO
Connor Halley.
BDOdebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I am a used RV salesman. But just because I love being a used RV salesman doesn't mean you would like doing my job all day long.
If you're selling your RV privately, that means that you have to be an RV salesman too.
That's right, Bob, and there's a lot of work involved. You have to find the customers, be ready to show it at a time and place that's convenient for the other guy, all the stuff you take for granted when you come to No Bull.
There's not a lot of glamour in being a used RV salesman, Rick.
I don't do it for the glamour, Bob. I love helping people enjoy the great outdoors on their terms. It's my life's work, but it doesn't have to be yours. When you sell your quality used RV with us, we take care of everything. Cleaning, repairs, commercials like this one to bring people in, and besides, I like being a used RV salesman a lot more than you do.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth W football coverage, elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
4:07. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Thursday. If you are a golf fan, you are probably in heaven today watching the Masters, where it's been the same two guys, Sam Burns and Rory McIlroy, being at the top of the leaderboard for quite a few hours. No one's able to get there. Rose got to 4 under, then he bogeyed, then he got another birdie. He's still back at 4 under. So he is the closest one. Jason Day, Kitsuyama, Patrick Reed are also at 3 under par. Scotty Scheffler currently at 2 under. Nick Taylor, the Canadian, he's the 1 under today and 2 over par for. Or is he at 3 now? Ooh, geez, it's getting worse. Or oh no, where's Corey Connors? Yeah, he's still at 2 over. So not you know what, not great, not bad, but you didn't have to shoot all world in one of the days to get yourself back into to realistic contention. Coming up, we are, hey, speaking of contention, man, the Edmonton Oilers. Let's get to our stats of the day. It is the Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, the Daily Grand. Of course, tonight, $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. PlayAlberta.ca. Get your tickets. You can also check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost. We got a few. We're either going teams who win or teams we think there's going to be some goals. Colorado, Calgary. Remember last time they absolutely got demolished, they being the Calgary Flames. But could they keep it under 7 total goals tonight? What about Carolina, Chicago? Montreal, Tampa Bay? Cole Caulfield, is he going to get to 50? And hey, what about Connor McDavid? Get into 50. He's at 47 after a hat trick last night and 3 goals away from his second 50-goal season. And if you look at the history of the NHL and guys who have scored 50 goals just 2 times, there's 24 different players, and there's 6 who have scored 3 times. Then you get into guys, obviously at the very top, you have Bossy, you have Gretzky and Ovechkin. They're at 9. Lafleur and Lemieux are at 6, along with Marcel Dion. Pavel Bure, Bobby Hall, Phil Esposito, Brett Hall, and Stevie Y are at 5. Leon Draisaitl, Tim Kerr, Michel Goulet, Yari Curry at 4. And then you have guys like Cam Neely, Rick Vive, John Leclerc, Luc Robitaille, Teemu Selanne, Jaromir Jagr are at 7 apiece. And then you go down to the rest. I think there's 24 players. Actually, no, 20. Looks like it's 27 who have scored 50 goals twice. Connor McDavid would like to join that club because he's only done it once. Active players who have multiple 50-goal seasons: Steven Stamkos, Nathan McKinnon, Austin Matthews, each have 2, and Draisaitl has 4. Ovechkin, of course, with 9. Is the grade 8 coming back next year? Said he'll decide in the summertime. 30-goal season, man. 20 of them. I could see him saying, you know what? I'm good. Is he going to retire as the all-time leading goal scorer in NHL history? It's got, 928 goals now? Pretty damn impressive in the regular season. Throw in his playoff goals, and he's over 1,000. Of course, slightly behind Gretzky. No one's ever talked about, though, total goals. I know they do it now. I think it came up by a few people who were mad that Gretzky didn't have the all-time goal record, so they came up with that one. So I could see Ovi saying, you know what, I'll just come back and grab that one too, and then there'll be no debate. So we'll see. Let's get to our stats of the day because we got quite a few to get over. Brought to you by All Star Construction. Focus on underground utilities from power, gas, telecommunications, street lights. They also do neighborhood renewal projects. They shape and build Edmonton communities. That is All Star Construction. And our stats of the day. We got lots to get to today. So let's start first of all with something tonight because we've got a lot of people texting in about it. So we'll outline it for you. Our how the Oilers can clinch a playoff spot tonight. 3 things need to happen. Anaheim defeats San Jose. Utah defeats Nashville in regulation. And Winnipeg doesn't win in regulation. If those 3 things occur, the Oilers will clinch a playoff spot. The easiest one, you could look and say the Oilers win a game, one of their last 3, they'll be in the playoffs. Now, to win the division, there's lots of scenarios. If the Oilers win all 3 of their games, they're automatically in. If they go 2-0-1, then Vegas and Anaheim both, Vegas would have to win all of their games. If the Oilers manage to go 2-0-1, which would give them another 5 points, then they would be at 95 points, and Anaheim can't catch them. But Vegas still could. But Vegas would have to go 4-0. Now, let's say the Oilers go 2-1. They get to 94 points. Vegas would need to go 3-0-1 because it can't catch the Oilers in regulation wins. So I guess unless Vegas wins, goes 3-0, and Edmonton's 2 victories are both in overtime or the shootout, then technically Vegas could pass them. So actually, you know what? No, Vegas would still have to have, they'd have to win all more in regulation. So even because the second tiebreaker is overtime / regulation wins, and the Oilers have 5 more than Vegas. Vegas can't catch them there. So I think if Edmonton can go 2-1, they got a really good chance to win the division for the first time since 1987. Some other stats from last night. Wayne Gretzky becomes the 5th player in NHL history with 3 seasons of 130 points or more. Him and Marcel Dion have 3. Esposito has 4. Lemieux has 6. Gretzky has 13. Now, McDavid needs 7 points in his final 3 games, and then he'd become the 4th player with multiple 140-point seasons. Esposito, of course, had 2. Lemieux 6, and Gretzky had 13. Like, if you look at the numbers, like Gretzky to get to 150 and one, like, it's crazy just where the gap comes for him. Like, wild number. You got to get to like 170 before he drops down significantly because he had like 360-point seasons. It's wild. McDavid did produce his 14th 5-point night of his career, tying Yari Curry for second most in Oilers history with 14. Gretzky has 79. McDavid also had his 15th career hat trick as an Oiler. That is 4th most. Anderson and Curry have 20. Gretzky has 43. Evan Bouchard last night became the 13th defenseman in NHL history to have 90 points. He also became the 13th NHL defenseman with 70 assists in the season, and only the 10th D-man all time with 20 goals and 70 assists in the same season. And I know there's lots, you see it online, and there's lots of people, Bouchard can't win. There's no way he can win the Norris. Okay. But just remember, points have always played a significant role in guys who win the Norris Trophy. Erik Karlsson, 101 points in 2023 is minus 25. Roman Josi, he had 96 points in 2022. He didn't win, though. Cale Makar won, and that's an interesting one because Cale Makar had 86 points. He was plus 48. So I get why he got some votes. But Roman Josi had 98 first-place votes. Makar had 92. But then Makar had 98 second-place votes, and Josi only had 76. So think about that. 98, 92 first-place votes, and then Makar, 98 second place. You'd think, okay, well, Yossi's going to be around 92. No, dropped all the way down to 76. Somebody didn't even have him on his ballot. I got to go back and look at who that was because that's wild to me. How the hell do you not have Roman Josi even on your ballot? It wasn't just points that. You're looking at his numbers, man. I think he was the first defenseman in NHL history to have over 95 points, and he didn't have a forward with 80 points on his team. Like, pretty darn impressive. But Cale Makar had 92 points in 2025. He won the Norris. Had 30 goals, too. Pretty impressive. Quinn Hughes, 92 points in 2024. He won the Norris. Evan Bouchard has 91 points with 3 games remaining. So Bouchard can pass both Makar and Hughes' career highs this year because each had 92 if he gets 2 points in his final 3 games. So Bouchard might not win, but I'm telling you, there is zero reason why he shouldn't be a finalist. You look at the history of it. You look at the gap that he now has between him and the other defenseman, which factors into it. Right? He's up to 91 points. He's 11 points ahead of Werenski. He's 16 up on Hudson and Makar. And Makar's plus 29, Bouchard's plus 23. Right now, Lane Hudson's had a really good year. Like, Lane Hudson's really solid season. You look at his 5-on-5 numbers, really good. Right now, here's my one complaint when I hear people talk about 5-on-5. Yeah, okay, 5-on-5, it's a significant part, but you can't just eliminate special teams play when you're talking about major awards. It makes no sense to me. How can you do it? Especially when you consider there is a higher percentage of goals per minute on the power play than there is on 5-on-5. Like, it's not even close. So I've never understood how people, oh, look at this defense. Okay, well, here's their 5-on-5 numbers. Great. Are you just going to ignore 4-on-4 or 3-on-3 or power play? Like, those are all parts of the game. You can't just ignore them. It makes no sense to me. You're taking like 20 to 25% of the game and you're not including it in a major award. What? So anytime you see someone that, I always question them. Like, if you want to say, hey, 5-on-5, I weighted a little bit more, I'll agree with that. But I'm not going to weight it like 0. Well, power play means nothing. People who say power play means nothing are people whose teams suck on the power play. To say it means nothing is beyond foolish to me. Beyond foolish. Other stats of the day to chew on. The Buffalo Sabres, with their win last night, are now up to 104 points. Maximum they can get is 110 points this season. Same with Tampa and Montreal, who each have 3 games remaining. But Tampa and Montreal, neither one can both get to 110 because they play head-to-head tonight. So at most, it could be as 110, 109. Might be 110, 108 maximum, depending on what happens in that pivotal game tonight. Buffalo still has a slight chance to catch Carolina for first in the Eastern Conference. Carolina 106 points, but they have a game in hand. Buffalo does own the tiebreaker, though, against those teams at the bottom that you're looking for. Columbus 90 points, Detroit and the Islanders each with 89 points. They are trailing Ottawa for the second wildcard spot and Philadelphia. At least that's Columbus and the Islanders for the third spot in the Metro Division. So those are your stats of the day, brought to you by All Star Construction. And when we return, we will get to another team that is desperate for a victory tonight. They need one big time. So we'll get to that. Also, we will hear from Mark Spector, Cam Tate. Also, no update. I know we've got a lot of texts. No update on Dickinson or Ingram. My spidey sense would tell me that the Dickinson injury is the one that I'm a little bit more concerned about. Did not look good, didn't put it anyway. But you're hoping that maybe you take the puck in the right area. You know, your foot goes numb, your leg goes numb, and it's something that maybe got better. Maybe it's a fracture, sadly. You know, you hope it, maybe even a deep bruise, but bone bruises can be pretty painful for quite some time. So, Dickinson, that'd be a big loss, man. You hope that he can return, especially for the playoffs. If he has to miss the 3 regular season games, you deal with that, whatever. But, man, because I think he's added a lot to the team, and just having a guy in the room who's that committed to defense, which has been a key for the Edmonton Oilers, because they're 6-1-1 in their last 8 games. In their 6 wins, they've allowed 10 goals. In their 2 losses, they allowed 11. So when the Oilers commit to defense, they're pretty darn good. We'll return to Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Edmonton. Did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the VLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic. Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2. Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
As we all try to figure out when winter will actually stop and spring will finally be here for the season, GS Construction moves ahead with their plans for the year. From planning and digging to laying out underground infrastructure, construction season is limited, so we make every day count. And that's why GS Construction counts on our team to get the job done right. Crews are getting back in action across the city, and we'd like you to join us. We're looking for experienced top men, pipe layers, operators, and surveyors. For more, visit gsconstruction.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Bring into savings at the Brick. Refresh your home with huge discount. Save up to $1,800 on sofas and sectionals and buy more, save more. Up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game. Save up to 40% off select mattresses and score free delivery when you use your Flexity card. Plus, save 50% when you buy 2 or more select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, proudly Canadian since 1971.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers' push to the playoffs is on, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play score and win every game. See more at ontherocks.yeg.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
.427, welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you are watching, be sure to say hi to Deck in the YouTube chat, and also give him a thumbs up. The subscribe button, make his day. at our YouTube place. We are getting closer to a puck drop. Lots of games getting started at the top of the hour. We'll just after the top of the hour that have massive playoff implications in the National Hockey League as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Summit Restaurant. Oh, they got some great food. So not only you get great food, you sit right in between the two rinks. You're going there for a concert. You eat before the concert. You're going there for curling. You're going there for hockey. You can watch the kids. Enjoy a great meal. Check it out at Summit Restaurant in Silent Ice Center on the south side of Edmonton. And tonight in the National Hockey League, the playoff race in the Eastern Conference, you got the Flyers with 92 points. They are third place in the Metro. The Senators, 92 points, holding down the foul wild card spot. Then you got the Blue Jackets at 90, the Red Wings and the Islanders at 89. And they've all got 4 games remaining. They're all in action tonight. The Islanders hosting the Maple Leafs. They should win that game. The Blue Jackets are in real tough, taking on the Buffalo Sabres. And then the matchup that has 2 teams head-to-head, the Philadelphia Flyers, the surging Philadelphia Flyers in Detroit to take on the Red Wings. And, man, it's been a great run to get here, but now you got to finish it off. And it's going to be difficult. A gentleman who has been watching the entire run very closely, not only watching it, also writing about it, a good friend of the show, Kevin Kurz from The Athletic, covers the Flyers, joins us. Kev, my man, how you doing?
Good, Jason. How are you?
Well, I'm excellent. Man, I love teams that kind of come out of nowhere. And, if you'd have said coming out of the Olympic break, the Philadelphia Flyers are going to be a playoff spot, people would be like, I don't think so. Because it's been an up and down season. Because in January, they started the month in a playoff spot. Looked pretty good halfway through the season. Then had a really brutal January, fell out. But they've clawed their way back in. And not only clawed, like they've dominated, Kev, here for the last 15 games.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable because even the games they're losing, I mean, they're in them. They're playing well. This is their third time playing Detroit in like a 2-week span. And they beat them in Detroit. And then the game they lost in Philly, they outplayed them. They just, maybe they just didn't get enough saves and certain things happen, but the games that they're losing, they're in. So it's just been a very remarkably consistent stretch for them. And you're right. I don't think anybody expected this coming out of the Olympic break. I mean, their January was so miserable that, you'd have to be crazy to think that they were going to somehow put it all together and be one of the league's best teams from the Olympic break on.
Yeah, in their last 20 games, they're 14-5-1, same as the Habs. The only team better are the Sabres, and they're 14-4-2. So basically one extra overtime loss. So it's been impressive. And the big thing for the Flyers is they've really won it by goals against. They've only allowed 46 goals in their last 20 games. That is the only St. Louis has been better. And obviously I know Dan Vladar's played a big factor in this, but even Sam Ersson has put up some really good games since the Olympic break.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually a good, maybe poster child for the turnaround. And even though he hasn't played that much, I mean, his game was a mess going into the break. He had some of the worst numbers in the league as a goaltender, not just this season, even going back to last season. And, he hasn't gotten much time lately, and I don't know how much time he's going to get moving forward here as these games are so important. But, you wonder if I pretty much wrote him off as a restricted free agent. I figured the team would just kind of let him go, but now I wonder if they're gonna, they'd consider that, considering how he's gone. So, but the goaltending in general has been solid for the Olympic break, but Vladar in particular has been pretty strong and pretty consistent from the outset, and he's far and away the team's MVP. Even right now, he's playing his best hockey. He's allowed 1 goal in each of his last 3 games. He's going to get the call again tonight against Detroit. You worry a little bit. There have been times where you can tell that the workload is getting Vladar slightly. So, this will be his 4th game in a row. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep it up, because this is usually where he's, by game 4 or 5 in a row that he started, sometimes he has a little bit of a rough outing. So we'll see if he can maintain it, because this is obviously a huge game tonight against the Red Wings.
Yeah, you look at this game, like, it's funny. The difference in how, like, Philadelphia, everyone's like, man, what a great year. And if the Flyers don't make it, everyone's going to be, yeah, but you know what? They came on. They got a lot of pieces. On the other side is the Detroit Red Wings, Kevin. And you know what? The Yzer plan has been around here for now a decade. and it's coming on and it hasn't worked. And like, if the Flyers beat them tonight, that's probably almost good night, Irene, for the Red Wings.
Yeah.
And I really wonder, you're in Detroit. What's the feeling there about, like, do you think they would let Steve Yzerman go?
Oh, geez, I don't know about that. I don't cover the Red Wings close enough to have my colleague Max Boltman. I've been reading some of his stuff, and I know that he wrote recently, and I'm paraphrasing here, that this might be the first summer where he does question whether this could be, it could be a little bit of a rough ride for Yzerman. But you look at it from Philadelphia's perspective here. It's Danny Breyer's he's just completing his third season, and I think everyone pretty much figured that this was going to take a little while. So, even if the Flyers missed the playoffs this year, what you wanted to see out of the Flyers this season was improvement. And when we're watching this team in January, I think we're all wondering a little bit, is that actually going to happen? Some things are starting to drop off here. Defensively, they haven't been bad. Offensively, they weren't scoring enough goals. Some of the young players like Matvei Michkov were actually regressing instead of progressing. But, now the way it's going, everyone's hopeful that they make the playoffs. But and you sort of said this, even if they, if they go 2-2 here and somehow get squeaked out, it will be disappointing, but I don't think it will be any sort of disaster. I think people look and see this roster as a pretty young roster that's growing together and doing some good things right now.
One of those guys is Martone. Obviously he scored an overtime winner, so he's made an impact already. How's he played overall?
It's pretty remarkable how seamlessly he's fit in. I mean, it was the Flyers had him signed to a contract less than 24 hours after he got knocked out of the NCAA tournament with Michigan State. And he plays his first game in Washington. I believe it was last Tuesday. And I think it was 3 or 4 minutes into the game, he takes a delay of game minor. So it was sort of an inauspicious start. But he got progressively stronger throughout the course of that game. By the third period, the Flyers ended up losing that game. But by the third period, he's getting to the front of the net, he's shooting, he's making plays, and it's like you noticed him every shift. And then the game after that, he had 9 shots on goal in the win over the Red Wings. And then he finally scored his first goal in his, I guess it was his third or fourth game against Boston. Overtime winner, 2-1 Flyers win. He set up the first goal with just a gorgeous assist, a little touch pass from along the wall. So it's been pretty seamless. It's been impressive what he's done. So, obviously with any 19-year-old, you have to keep an eye on him and see if he can maintain it game over game. But so far he looks like the real deal. I don't think I think everyone here in Philadelphia is pretty excited to see what this kid could become.
Kevin Kurz joins us. Flyers in Detroit tonight. Huge game. Now, Trevor Zegras playing center. Didn't start there, but he's playing center. Does he look better in your eyes as a centerman compared to a winger?
Yeah, he's done some good things. I'm skeptical that he could be a number 1 center on a top team, right? Could he be a number 2 center? I based on what he's done lately, I think that's certainly possible. But, part of what's helped Zegras, I think, is his line mate, and that's Owen Tippett. And Tippett's been the Flyers' best forward certainly since the trade deadline, maybe since the Olympic break. He's doing things nightly now that, you would see in flashes throughout the course of his time here with the Flyers, where he'd have 1 or 2 good games and then you wouldn't notice them for, 4 or 5 after that. And then he'd have another 1 or 2 good games afterwards. So consistency has always been the biggest issue with Tippett, and he's found it. It's every game he's out there making plays. I mean, even he's probably looking forward to tonight's game. He had a hat trick in Detroit about 2 weeks ago. But I think it's 9 goals in his last 17 games, but he's making plays too. I go back to the Jersey game a couple nights ago. He makes a play off the rush, creates a little bit of chaos in the defensive zone, finds Travis Sanheim, who feeds Zegras on a seam pass, and Zegras scores. And then, 35 seconds later, Tippett made a move at the blue line, draws a penalty, and it leads to another Zegras power play goal. So, to bring it back to Zegras, those two are on line together, and I think they've developed some pretty good chemistry, and that's sort of fueling both of them right now.
Kev, what about the back end for the Flyers? They don't have, like Trevor Sanheim's obviously a very good defenseman. Riistalainen, York, Drysdale, Nick Seeler. if you were looking at the Flyers, is that the area where moving forward, that's where they want to improve, or do you like the makeup of their blue line?
Yeah, I mean, everyone points to center, and that's, I think, still certainly a little bit of a hole, depending on what you think is egress. You got Christian Dvorak and Noah Cates there, who are two pretty good middle six centers, but obviously you're lacking that big dog number one center. Again, depending on what you think is egress. But yeah, in terms of the blue line, that's where they felt that most. The worst is on the power play. The power play still stinks here. It's really, we're in year 5 of this power play being one of the worst in the league. Rick Tocchet came in, and Rick's done a lot of good things with his coaching staff, but it's sort of a wonder that they haven't improved this power play even a little bit, because they haven't. They're still dead last in the league going into tonight. And I think it starts with the lack of that top offensive, big booming shot up top from a defenseman. They've tried Jamie Drysdale there, and Drysdale's gotten better this season, particularly defensively. He's got the mobility, but he doesn't quite have the big booming shot that I think Rick Tocchet wants. Rasmus Ristolainen's been there, and he does have a pretty good shot, but he's not as mobile. So I do wonder if that's an area where the Flyers look a little bit over the summer to, maybe try to find a guy that can anchor that number one power play. And I'd have to look in to see who might be available. Maybe they try to pull off some sort of a trade, but that's one area that I think needs improvement for sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's totally valid. So I'm assuming it's Dan Vladar tonight in goal. And you mentioned he's the MVP of this team, Kevin. And I can tell you there was nobody when the Flyers signed him that thought that Dan Vladar was going to have this much of an impact for that team, right? Probably not even and that's not a shot at anyone. That's just, you kind of looked at it. But this guy has come in, and it just shows you the unpredictability of that position.
I will give one guy some props here on that, and that's Marty Baron, who I talk to every once in a while. And I reached out to him after the Flyers signed Vladar. I'm like, what's the deal with this guy? And Marty said that after Jake Allen, he thought Vladar was the second best option in terms of the free agents. I'm like, okay, well, Marty knows goaltending, right? I'll give him a little bit of a shout out there for that one. But yeah, in terms of Vladar doing what he's doing, yeah, I don't think anyone expected that. Even when they signed him, we all sort of thought that Sam Ersson was going to be the guy that was going to get a chance to reestablish himself and be the number one. But Tocchet put Vladar in on opening night, and ever since he's been the number one. I don't think there's ever been much of a question about that. The big question with Vladar was workload. I don't think he had I think 29 starts was his previous career high. That was last year in Calgary. Mm-hmm. And now he's getting, I'd have to look at the stat sheet, but he's got to be close to 50 games now, if not at 50 games. And again, that's where I think you try to monitor his workload a little bit. The Flyers still haven't won 4 in a row in 2 years. They're going to put that on the line again tonight.
Yeah.
And part of the reason of that is that when Vladar, like I said before, when Vladar is starting his 4th or 5th game in a row, sometimes he tends to drop off a little bit. So, but that all said, I mean, he's been the rock. He's been consistent. He's been giving them really good goaltending on an almost nightly basis. And the question I have now is, he's got a 2-year deal. So this is year 1 of that deal. I wonder if the Flyers look at him now as their long-term guy. And I'm going to be curious to see if in the offseason if they try to extend him early going into what would be the last year of his deal, and, after which he would be a UFA.
Okay. Interesting. Kev, enjoy the game and enjoy the run. It would be unreal to see the Battle of Pennsylvania, the Penguins and the Flyers in round 1.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, that would be fun. And, that would get a lot of these casual fans that I think have been paying attention to the Eagles and the Phillies more than anybody else. They might turn their attention back to the Flyers for at least a couple weeks anyway.
Oh, God, yeah, I would think so. Awesome, man. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right, you too, my friend.
There you go. That is Kevin Kerr joining us from Philadelphia, man. I've always loved the Flyers, orange and black and white unis too. I think they're sharp, man. I like the logo, like everything about it. They're a team that very few of us expected to be here, and we'll see if they can finish it off. That's a huge game. And hey, speaking of great unis, the wing wheel, another classic. Cons, what's your thoughts on the Flyers, man? Do they finish it off?
I think they're going to fall short.
Ooh.
Not to be super negative or anything like that, but Yeah, I don't know. I think that obviously they won 3 in a row. Actually, I'm taking it back. They're going to hold down the spot in the Metro, hold on to third spot, get Pittsburgh, and then the Penguins eliminate them.
There you go. We'll take a quick break. Come back. We got 5 questions and spec and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Mr. Rooter sees a UFO.
Mr. Rooter says 1 plunge, 2. What's this? A UFO? An unidentified floating object. It's beginning to glow and levitate.
Thank you, Mr. Rooter. You have freed us from the gravity of the white hole. Humanity will be spared.
Wow. People aren't going to believe this when I put it in our new commercial.
If you want to believe in a plumber, call Mr. Rooter.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say,
I'm good to go. When it comes to sports in Edmonton, Jason Gregor is a must-listen. He brings you the inside scoop with guests from across North America. If it matters in sports, you'll hear it here first. Gregor rolls out weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports 1440.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
Free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value for a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And directional drilling, hydrobacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
This is gold. Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, straight masterpieces. Living it up in the city.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers fans, season seats have never been easier. Sign up for first access to full, half, and quarter seats starting at only $28 per week by visiting edmontonoilers.com/season seats.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
We continue on. Game day, NHL. How about the NBA? We got some great playoff races going on. Are the LA Lakers done? Like, can they win without those two guys? Probably not. I wouldn't think so. They might. They've lost 3 in a row already without Luka, and not going to get any easier down the stretch for the Lakers. And so they might They're in fourth right now, tied with Houston, but that might cost them home court advantage in the first round because they each have 3 games remaining. Houston's won 7 in a row. The Lakers have lost 3 in a row. I guess in theory, I'd have to look at the tiebreaker, but no. So they can only drop to 5. They can't drop any lower than that because the Timberwolves only have 2 games left, so they can only get 49 wins. So the Lakers and the Rockets, though, looks like they'll probably be a first-round matchup. And if those guys, Reeves and Luka, aren't back, that would be a quick exit for the LA Lakers. Man, injuries, I don't think it gets talked about enough in championships, how much injuries can play a factor for really good teams. You lose a good guy like Cade Cunningham for Detroit, how much that can impact them. So we'll see. Because even if some guys come back and they're healthy, but they're not healthy enough, you know what I mean? So injuries are the one wild card that are incredibly unpredictable. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick. You can spring into savings at The Brick, where right now you can save up to $1,800 on sofas and sectionals. Also, update your mattress game, save up to 40% off right now, and get free delivery when you use your FlexiD card at thebrickandthebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, because it's been discussed a little bit on the station today. Let's say Connor Ingram can't go Saturday, can't even dress. You going Tristan Jarry or a Condor to start?
Not even a question. For me, it's Tristan Jarry all day long. Yeah, like I'm not even remote considering another goalie at this point.
I think I would consider it, just looking statistically. Callum Pickard has better numbers than Tristan Jarry with the Oilers. But to me, it's kind of a moot point because it depends how they play in front of them. If the Oilers are going to play like they did on Tuesday, it's going to be tough. If they play like they did on Wednesday, then all of a sudden things change. So for me, the question, the debate's fun. But for me, how does the team play in front of them? That's what matters.
What about the fact that Pickard has a .330 and an .881 save percentage in the minors since going down?
Well, some guys just don't flourish in the A, right?
Yeah, fair enough. It's true, though. You look at Connor Ingram's numbers in the A, they weren't pretty.
Yeah. Question number 2 for you. Connor McDavid, the pursuit of 50. How many goals do you think he finishes with this season?
Oh, you're this close, man. I think he'll want it. I'll say 50.
I'm going to say 51. Since Leon Draisaitl's been out, he's shooting with the puck more. 8 shots on net last night. You got some opponents here. The Kings, he's got a history against. Colorado, we'll see what the lineup looks like. And if he does play Thursday against the Canucks, they're just looking for the golf course. So I think I'm going to say 51. I say 4 goals in his final 3 games. Question number 3 for you. 4 teams can secure a playoff spot tonight, including the Oilers, if everything goes right. How many do you think actually will?
So the Penguins, if they win, they're in. If they get a point and Columbus doesn't get a point, then they're in. Bruins, they get in if the Islanders lose to the Maple Leafs and the Flyers and the Sabres. No. So I will say I'm going to say 1.
Penguins?
Yeah, probably. Although, you know what? New Jersey's actually played pretty well lately. I could see them winning. I think it's going to be Utah.
I think I'm with you on that one. I think the Oilers need what?
They got a lot of things.
Ducks to beat the Sharks to eliminate them. Utah to defeat Nashville in regulation. Winnipeg and St. Louis. Yeah, I'm going to go with 1 with you. I think that's going to be a little bit longer for Clinchmas, as the kids call it. Question number 4 for you. With the Masters underway, if you could play any golf course specific hole, which one would you pick?
So just one hole?
You got to play one hole, any course. What would be the most intriguing one for you to play?
You go ahead.
Geez. Just, you're at Augusta right now, so it's nice, but I think I got to go TPC Sawgrass 17 with the water.
Green?
I think, geez, it would probably be bad for my ego in my golf game, but just how it looks, how it sets up, if you could drop it on the green, I think that'd be a pretty cool moment. So that's where I would go.
I'd probably play St. Andrews, the old course, the first hole. Yeah, that'd probably be it.
I also wouldn't mind at the waste management with all the people watching.
You'd want to play with the people? Well, I guess the thing is, you could be a hero. So you're playing for that opportunity, right? But also, you get chirped a lot. So, but I like that, you got to look at it on the positive side. I'm playing for a one-time, unbelievable outcome that gets everybody going.
It'd be awesome. That's actually a lie for me. I golfed once at Riverside out in Fairmont, and there was a few people watching from their villas. Threw me right off. So I don't think I could do it. I think I'd probably choke under the pressure.
Oh, I like it.
And, they didn't even care at all.
Dude, I hit one time when I got to golf with Chichi Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
And I still remember they're teeing off, and I'm like, people were lined up like they would at a golf course. There was like 1,000 people. I'm like, what are you people doing? Like, don't you know? Like, I'm not a good golfer. Like, that was the most stressful. But man, I hit that ball and I actually hit the fairway, so I was pumped.
Question number 5. On this day in 1986, the TV show Dallas announced that they were going to revive killed Bobby Ewing. Don't really know what this is all about, but it made me think, what moment in TV history blew your mind the most?
Well, see, that's just lame, right? You can't. Bobby Ewing was like the heel of the show, like a villain, but he's dead. Now you're going to say that, what is this, a soap? I guess it was kind of an evening soap opera. So I know in soap operas, a lot of times they had that, but moment in TV history that blew my mind. I'm going to go the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. Like, just didn't expect it, didn't see it coming. And it's very real. When you look back at it, it's very realistic. At that age and time, people will always try to screw someone over to benefit themselves. Sadly, it happens way too often in life. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Red Wedding.
That's a good one. I would say as a kid, the whole summer trying to figure out who shot Mr. Burns, only to find out it was Maggie, was a bit of a disappointment, but kind of blew the mind.
Yeah.
And then just in with what you said, Red Wedding Revenge, Arya, when she puts on the face and goes back and essentially gets them back for what they did.
Mm-hmm.
The North remembers, yeah. The Red Wedding, the first time you watch that, you've heard about it, I'm sure, because everyone talks about that moment from the show, but gut-wrenching. Just, yeah.
Well, I remember that I read an article and they talked about the actors, the first time they're reading the scene, because they didn't know about it. And the eldest Stark, like, he was livid because now his character's done.
Oh, yeah?
Right? Didn't expect it. He's like, yeah, man, look at this. We're doing great. What? I'm out? That would be brutal. Like, you're reading this for the first time. Hey, wait a sec. Whoa. What? I'm out? Like, he was one of the, it's hard to say main character, but he was one in that first season. He was one of the bigger characters. And now he's out.
Talking Rob Stark?
Yes.
Young Wolf? Yeah.
Yes. Maybe that was just season 2, actually. Now they say it's season 2 or 3. Can't remember.
Yeah, I mean,
one,
he was in line and they were
were
marching with the army, right?
Mm-hmm. Rob Stark.
His pregnant wife.
Now, that's what made the story so good, because it was unexpected. And there were so many parts of that I like. Now, I had never read any of the books or anything. People say, well, Gregor should know what's coming. No, he shouldn't. I didn't read the books, so I didn't know. And I read a lot of books, but I hadn't read that book. So I was quite enamored with it. Thought it was awesome.
Unbelievable show, yeah.
Oh, and honestly, it's a show I think I'm going to watch again, because I looked and said, like, there's so many characters that I still don't remember all their names. So I think it'd be good to watch it again. So,
and so many good moments that.
Oh God, yeah. Like, anybody out there, how old do you like? How old would your? Because maybe I'll wait till my kid. Like, is 14 good enough for Game of Thrones? The average person, like, would you let your teenager watch it? 14? Like, I know it depends, because some kids are more sensitive to gore than others, right? But I'm just curious. What did you think? 14? That pass?
The rating is 18 plus.
18, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's
nudity,
quite a bit of sex and nudity. Now you're saying it. All right. So I'm not waiting. I don't know if I can wait another 6 years to watch it again. We'll see. But I guess I could watch it now and then watch it a third time. So, although, who knows? Like, if you're not into, like, dragons and stuff, you probably don't like it. Even though the dragons weren't a main part of the show. Like they were, but they weren't like every episode oh my God, there's a dragon flying. This is stupid. It wasn't like it was like that. So, see.
No, I don't think I'm a fan of that genre typically, but the story was so good. And like the character development and then the writing where you just lose a character all of a sudden. I don't think you have to be kind of like a sci-fi fan to really fall in love with that show. Just a good show.
There we go. Quick break. When we come back, Mark Spector will tell you about Dickinson and Ingram. The only real negative for the Oilers is the walking wounded list has grown. They had Draisaitl, and they added Hyman. Now there's Ingram and Dickinson, although one might be better than the other. We'll find out. Let's get to the con man and Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Where? This weekend? Oh, you want to get out. Look for a new ride. The new Corvettes. And check out the brand new Autoplex. If you're looking for a great deal, no hassle. Not low hassle. No hassle. No bargains. Just a good deal. NorthgateGM.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Busy night in the NHL. One game underway right now. Brady Shen's 18th of the season as the Islanders leading the Maple Leafs 1-0. Still to come. Sabres and Jackets. The Lightning hit the Montreal Sens host the Panthers. Flyers, Red Wings, Devils. Penguins, Blues host the Jets. Kings and Chicago Stars taking on the Wild. You got the Flames in Colorado. Mammoth hosts the Preds. Ducks, Sharks, Golden Knights in Seattle. And the Kings beat the Kraken. Major League Baseball. 3 finals from earlier today. Marlins over the Reds 8-1. The Tigers fall to the Twins 3-1. And Yankees at home losing to the Athletics 1-0. Getting going shortly, you got the Mets and the Diamondbacks, followed by the White Sox, Royals, and the Padres hosting the Rockies. In the association, the Toronto Raptors taking on the Heat once again. Tip off in 5 minutes. Elsewhere, Bulls and Wizards, Nets, Pacers, the Knicks taking on the Celtics, Sixers in Houston, and the Warriors hosting the Lakers. LeBron James returning to the lineup. Day one at the Masters, tie atop the leaderboard. Sam Burns and Rory McIlroy both 5 under par. When it comes to Canadians, Nick Taylor -1, Corey Connors 3 over, Mike Weir +9. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and hear Cam Tate's latest 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
At GS Construction, we're multitaskers. We've got lots of projects going on all around Edmonton and area. Different teams across the city working towards the same outcome. Installing today what will serve generations to come. It's a rewarding career and the work never stops. That's why GS Construction is always on the lookout for great people to join us. Right now, we're looking for experienced topmen, pipe layers, operators, and surveyors. So if you want to feel valued, empowered, and engaged in your work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell. And we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me. GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street or business online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jeff Brab and 118th.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and
Back,
used
Jason Gregor.
trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Spring into savings at The Brick. Refresh your home with huge discounts. Save up to $1,800 on sofas and sectionals. And buy more, save more, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game and save up to 40% off select mattresses and score free delivery when you use your Flexity card. Plus, save 15% when you buy 2 or more select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, proudly Canadian since 1971.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care. Injuries don't wait, and neither should you. 01 Athletic Care offers one-stop access to doctors, x-rays, and casting. It's expert musculoskeletal care covered by Alberta Health right in West Edmonton Mall. Move from injury to recovery. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.504 Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. The day is done at the Masters, and the guys who have led basically all day are still there at the top. Sam Burns, Rory McIlroy, 2-stroke lead over Kitayama, Jason Day, and Patrick Reed. Justin Rose ended up a tough final few holes, dropped from -4 all the way down to -2, along with Scotty Scheffler. Nick Taylor, the Canadian, he's now tied for 10th at 1 under with a boatload of guys. And you get to even, it's a tie for 19th. You get to +1, it's a tie for 34th. +2, a tie for 40th. And away you go. So tomorrow morning, we'll see. The weather's supposed to continue and be quite nice. It is the Gregor Show, as always, brought to you by title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, Instance, Lottery, Live Dealer, Sports Casino, all the fun in one place. PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, though, if you do wager, use your GameSense, GameSenseAB.ca. I'm Jason Gregor alongside Connor Halley. It's a busy night in the National Hockey League. Oiler fans, you can relax knowing that your team needed a win last night, got a win. They now have a 2-point lead over the Ducks and a 3-point lead on the Ducks, 2-point lead on the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights are in Seattle. Can the Kraken do the Oilers a big favor? It would be a surprise for sure if they win. Meanwhile, the Ducks are hosting the San Jose Sharks, who you have to think will be a little irritated after last night's performance. Couldn't generate anything. They got 14 shots. They couldn't really do much against the Oilers, and they obviously had no answer for McDavid. It was not a good night at either end of the rink. If you're a Sharks fan, the Oilers, pretty happy with their performance, I would think. Their superstar had a superstar game, and their team defensively was excellent, limiting the Sharks to only 14 shots. The negatives were the injuries. Connor Ingram, although he did stay on the bench for the third period, which tells you that maybe it's not that serious, because big if, Jari would have gotten hurt, then he would have to go back in the game. So, because if he was injured enough where they were worried about that, well, they just would have called him the E-bug during the intermission, and he would have came and got dressed on the bench. So, didn't happen. Jason Dickinson, he did not return. First shift of the third period, got hit in the leg, left the ice, was in massive discomfort, and we'll find out. The Oilers have the day off today, so we'll have a better update tomorrow on the health of the Oilers as a Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. It's the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists who are hiring. It's a busy time for them. If you are qualified as a top man, if you're an operator, they got jobs for you, even starting out at the ground level as well. Go to gsconstruction.ca and look up careers as Mark Spector joins us. And Spec, the Edmonton Oilers, 6-1-1 in their last 8 games. And their 6 wins, they've only allowed 10 goals. In the 2 losses, they've allowed 11. They have played quite effectively in a lot of the games. And last night was another one where the San Jose Sharks, outside of the early power play goal by Celebrini, never really threatened in that game.
That's a good stat. All those goals in the games you lose, and then you play way more games that you win and you let in less. So yeah, I mean, I think we got the Oilers figured out here. They they're always going to score enough, or almost always going to score enough, right? It's all about what you allow. It's all about how you play defensively. And I know it sucks when you have all these offensive guys and you want to just let them loose and win games 8-7, but the reality is, and we figured this out, and so is all the guys like Connor McDavid knows this too, they're going to win. Their defensive game is going to dictate how often they win and how successful they are. And the stat you just named lays that bare, man. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Oh, no question about it. McDavid hadn't had, he's had lots of good games, but last night was one of those games really and it's kind of too bad now. It's like guys don't go for, I'd love to see them go for 8 points. And there really wasn't that. Man, I got 5 points. I'd be, okay, buddy, let's get you to 6 here. Your career high 6, let's at least try to get you to 7 here. I had half the game to do it. And I understand they want to win games, but it's not like they totally sat back, but I also don't think they pushed as much as I would like 5-point nights are rare in the NHL. I would like to see them push a little bit more.
Yeah, I thought the Oilers really took their foot off the gas in the third period and said, okay, we're not going to let you score 3 goals against us. We're not going to let you score 1 goal against us in the third period. We got a 3-goal lead. It's a third period. It's an important game. We're just going to play defense and dare you to try to beat us. And they didn't. What did San Jose have for shots on goal in the third period? Was it 4?
Yeah.
So that to me, listen, we can't come on here and carve them for their defensive game. And when it's bad, and then when they allow 4 shots on goal in the third period, an important game, we can't come on here and complain about that too, right?
No. I'm just saying for McDavid himself, not the team. When McDavid's not on the ice, they should have sat back and done nothing. I'm talking about when he was on.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's more the player. It's not even the team. I get it, but you just don't see, the hockey guys at times want to just go for it sometimes, right? You're halfway through the game, 6, 7, 8 points. That's something that's extremely rare that happens in the game of hockey.
Okay, but do you feel like I kind of got a sense the last couple of games that McDavid is actually searching for 50 goals here? I think that.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't you? I hope
when he got 45 and 46, I thought all of a sudden he's kind of shooting it more. I feel like he has 50 goals in his sights, and when Connor McDavid has a goal ahead of him, he tends to achieve it.
It's true. And that'd be great. I hope he does it. I'd have no problem. Because he scored 5 points last night. He wasn't cheating, right? Because that's an adage I've never really believed in. I see lots of guys produce a ton of points by playing the right way, right? Sure, you have to every now and then, take an educated one, right? But you're not cheating on a 20-80 puck. You might cheat on a 50-50 one. That's okay. I don't mind that. But last night, you look at. You look at the goal he scored against Utah, and then you look at the power play goal. He just around the net, makes a quick reaction to beat Desharnais to the rebound. Some good assists in that game. Got obviously lucky break, looking to pass to Roslovic that ends up being his hat trick goal. So there was definitely no cheating at all in that game by McDavid or the rest of the team. To be honest, Spec, the only negatives were the injuries. And where do you come out on Ingram? The fact that he didn't leave the bench, to me, suggests that it's not that serious of an injury, or at least they didn't think it was at that time. I guess maybe something happens overnight, but the fact that he stayed on the bench, which put him in a position to have to go back in the game in case of an injury, hopefully that's a sign that they don't think it's that serious.
Yeah, I'm told, I sent a text out today, Jay, and I'm told that they haven't called Pickard up. They're going to wait and see how Ingram does in practice tomorrow. So
Okay.
the fact, if that pans out and he heads out to practice, the
Yeah.
fact that he's practicing tells me that it he may be injured, but it's not serious. If I'm already, and I would suggest to you that Stan Bowman is already thinking, look, I got to keep this guy for game 1 of the playoffs. He's clearly my goalie. He's clearly my number one. I am not forcing him in any situation with any little injury. Like I'll be honest with you, Jay. If this thing is anything at all, I'll be surprised if he plays the last 3 games. Why can't I play Jari the last 3 games? And if it's anything worse than that, why aren't I calling up Pickard to back up and putting Ingram, in a hot tub for the next week? Like there is no reason to push this Ingram injury here because he's my guy in game 1 of the playoffs. So, and the next 3 games, they don't matter that much. Like they matter some.
For first place in home ice.
Okay, but they don't matter. I mean, you're not trying to make the playoffs. You're in the playoffs. So the most important thing is having Ingram healthy for game 1. And to me, whatever has to happen for that to be the end game, that's what they'll do.
Yeah, I will say this about Ingram and goalies, and they don't like to be out that long. If the guy's practicing, obviously not that hurt, which is great. I still think Jari's going to start against the Kings, but I won't be surprised if Ingram gets 1 of the 2 games next week, even if it's that last game against Vancouver, just so you're not going 10 games without a start when the playoffs begin. Guys, just every goalie will tell you they like to get into a little bit of a rhythm, be feeling the puck somewhat.
And Vancouver only gets about 10 shots on goal every night anyway.
Yeah, no, that's true. The one concern is the Dickinson injury. Now it's either a fracture, your hairline fracture, or maybe it's just one of those stingers because you get hit the puck in the right spot and your leg goes numb. And guys have had that before and they come back and they're fine. That's what they have to hope is for Dickinson because he's been a big part of the whole team shift to being better defensively.
It's funny with hockey players too. Like when I watched that injury, like for instance, 2 nights ago in Utah, he took a shot and he kind of grabbed his stomach. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's not a good sign. Like an abdominal injury, a core injury, that's awful.
Yeah.
Against San Jose, when we watched the replay and I saw, he only got hit by a puck. I kind of thought, he got hit by a puck. That's a good thing. Like hockey players are so tough. It's like a facial injury. When we say, he only got hit in the face, he'll be fine, right? No one ever misses games because they got hit in the face like they do in other sports. So I guess my point would be I prefer Dickinson getting hit by a puck. Yeah, we can find points in history when guys got hit by a puck and they broke their leg or something really bad happened. But generally speaking, when you get hit by a shot, the swelling goes down, you treat it, you come back. That abdominal thing he did the other day scared me a lot more than getting hit by a puck.
Yeah, well, hope for his sake and really for the Oilers' sake that it would be nothing that's going to keep him out because you can get by with 1 injury spec, maybe 2. It's when they start to add up and compound injuries, that's when it just becomes a bit of a problem. Because I went back and I was listening to the interview I had with Grant Fedoruk and some calls on Draisaitl. I know that Jack Michaels had said on the broadcast that they think he's going to skate, get in a skate today, and I think that was back in Edmonton though because he's not on the road trip, my understanding.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, that's great that he's skating, but guys can skate for months before they're ready to play. And when you look at the timeline, if it's a grade 2 MCL, which never requires surgery, but it can be 4 to 8 weeks, depending on, the thickness of the tear, that I think there's a good chance, Beck, you might not see Draisaitl to start the playoff series. And if it's going to be Utah, if Edmonton wins the division, they're in a good spot to do that now. They got to be able to beat Utah without Draisaitl, and I think they can, because if their ultimate goal is to win the Stanley Cup, then you need Draisaitl in the Cup, not in round 1.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. Like, to me, listen, the Oilers have a certain pedigree here. They're a good team. They know how to play in the playoffs. When they throw out a defensive game like they did last night, they take a team like San Jose, and looking back on that game now, Jay, San Jose didn't get a sniff in that game, right? They scored a deflection goal and then a long wrister through about 7 guys. I'm still not sure how that puck got in. But really, when Edmonton played their game, they were quite a margin better than San Jose. So I guess my point to you would be, I don't care who they play in the first round. If they can't beat that team without Draisaitl, then they're probably not good enough to go anywhere anyway. Like, this is a pretty good team. And no one's mitigating how important Draisaitl is, how good he is. He's obviously a giant part of your team. And if you got to a Stanley Cup final and played the best team from the East and lost to him without Draisaitl, you'd go, man, I wish we had him. But in the first round, to me, if the Oilers can't get through the first round without Draisaitl, they're probably not going anywhere anyways, man.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What do you make of Colton Dock since he's drawn back in?
Love him. How about you? Like, tons of energy. He's hitting everything that moves. The Oilers have lacked that guy for so long. I love the guy. I hope he plays a ton. What about you?
Yeah, well, like I had said before, I thought he was a more polished version of Clattenburg, right? A little bit better of a skater, right? A little bit older, not much, but has a little bit more experience. And you know what? Maybe down the road, both of them are in the lineup because trust me, there's lots of teams who win that have more than one guy. And Edmonton's been, when they get a player, like I even recognize it from fans. They're just like, oh my God, look at this guy. Like, you have depth guys who are noticeable. And I'm like, yeah, it's amazing when you get some guys, like, there's different ways to win. Not everybody has to be a golden boy on some numbers. Now his analytics are okay, but even if if he's not getting outscored, I really don't care what his analytics are if he's physical and he's a momentum changer. And that's what he's done. Like, he's come in and you know what? He scored a goal. Obviously at the time it was a big goal, ends up being a goal that gets him a point in a game. So that's obviously a pretty huge goal in hindsight. And, coming back from that injury, he has looked, he's looked energized and he adds a little pop to the lineup for sure.
I've always said with hockey, it's 82 games, man. There's a lot of games where nothing's going on. And there's a lot of games when you need a spark and you need somebody to, make your bench get real interested and bring your team into the game. And in Edmonton, it's always on McDavid or Draisaitl or somebody to score a goal. Like in Edmonton, they only change momentum by scoring a goal. They, remember Corey Perry when he was here? Corey Perry jump over the boards, give you a fight and get your team into the game. Like maybe a sleepy night in Nashville on a Tuesday, you need someone to give you a spark. And Perry was totally that guy. And I think the Oilers have lacked that player for a long time. Colton Dock can be that guy. And if he brings Frederick into the fight, he's that guy too. And who knows, Clattenburg comes. I'm not telling you, you're not going to be the Charleston Chiefs here and have a whole bunch of guys that fight every night. But a couple of guys that get the bench going and maybe piss off the other team a little bit and get you into a game where, okay, boys, let's band together and take these guys on. Like, that's not a bad thing.
No, God.
It's not a bad thing. So
no,
the Oilers have lacked that. They've lacked that. And this kid, Colton Dock, is bringing them to a place where I think they got a little bit of that.
Yeah, that is very true. Spec, lastly, the Sharks, to me, I think that loss last night is, I know they're not officially out. I know they got the Ducks tonight. And so
they got to beat the Ducks. Yeah.
We can win tonight. But yeah, I watched San Jose play last night and they're just, they're a few players away from really contending. Celebrini's obviously a very good player. There's no doubt about it. But Vegas Golden Knights, they've won 4 in a row. They haven't played the best teams, but it doesn't matter. They've won all their games. What do you make of Vegas, with Tortorella? I know it's only 4 games, but what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, they're getting a bit of a new coach bump. And you know what? And one of the things is Carter Hart's come back, and he's actually jumped off the IR, and he's playing pretty well, for sure. And we all know Vegas is a pretty good team. Like, they've got some pedigree there. But I'm going to tell you, they beat Vancouver, is it twice, and Calgary once, and Edmonton once, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm not telling you that they're back. What did Vancouver get the other night on them? 10 shots on goal or something. So, you know what? Good for Vegas. Like, they needed some change, and Torts is bringing some change. I haven't watched them closely. I don't know if they're playing much of a different game, the biggest thing in Vegas, there's two things in Vegas that have to happen. They got to have goaltending, right? All season long, they haven't had goaltending.
Yes.
So if Hart's going to give them goaltending, well, that's a major upgrade. And let's, for his sake, let's hope he can keep it going. And then the rest of it is they got to be able to score goals. And like their issue is they're one of the best third period teams in the NHL, Jason. But the reason is they're one of the worst first 40-minute teams in the NHL, right? They've been behind all season long. They've been chasing games the entire season, and that doesn't work long term. So two things for me in Vegas: give them goaltending, and for Pete's sake, score the first goal once in a while. And now maybe you got a chance, right? Is that fair?
Yeah. No, that's fair. If I think you're the Oilers, I'd still play Utah over Vegas. I would take the smaller forward group and the inexperience of Utah. I think Vegas could still come up and give you a much harder matchup. Just like I think Edmonton, you'd rather face the Ducks. If all things are even, you'd rather face the Ducks or Utah over Vegas in round one.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I kind of come from the school that says,
it doesn't mean you can't beat them, but I'm just saying I'm going to pick. No.
If I'm picking, I agree with you, Jason. I agree with what you're saying. I kind of come from the school that says I got to get through Vegas in the first round or the second round. So whichever round I play them in, let's go.
Yeah.
Edmonton's probably getting Vegas at some point here. So if it's the first round, okay, let's play the first round. But I hear what you're saying. Like if you told me to choose, I think you're right. I think Vegas, because they have that experience and they've, there are some savvy old dogs on that team. I'd probably take like Utah and Anaheim. I know Anaheim's missed playoffs for 7 years. If I'm not mistaken, Utah's the same.
Yeah, well, Utah technically in Arizona, they were in the bubble, so and that
I don't count the
they
bubble.
won, but
Bubble doesn't count.
Yeah. So well,
I was at the bubble. It didn't count.
Oh, I was there too, buddy. It was the coldest I've ever been in the rink. Ever.
It was awful.
Oh my God. It was
we've all tried to forget about the bubble, and it doesn't mean anything.
It was always the reminder of the importance of fans in the
yes.
And Connor Murphy even said, he goes, I'm not even sure those, and he played. He goes, I'm not even sure they count. Right.
I'm with Connor Murphy. I don't think they do count. So Vancouver won a playoff series. Chicago is credited with a playoff series win. Chicago, come on.
Yeah. No, I would agree with you. Spec, we will chat tomorrow. We'll find out on Dickinson and Ingram. Have yourself a great day.
All right. Sounds good, Jay.
See you. Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We'll come back. We'll get more into the Oilers. Update you in the early games as the playoff push is on, and some teams could get pushed out of the playoff race tonight. We'll update all those scenarios and more. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Also, your thoughts on, I'm curious. Let's say Draisaitl's back. What would you do with your lines when Hyman and Draisaitl are back? What would your top six, just your top six, what would it be? 833-401-1440.
Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on mega jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power? But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I am a used RV salesman. But just because I love being a used RV salesman doesn't mean you would like doing my job all day long.
If you're selling your RV privately, that means that you have to be an RV salesman too.
That's right, Bob, and there's a lot of work involved. You have to find the customers, be ready to show it at a time and place that's convenient for the other guy, all the stuff you take for granted when you come to No Bull.
There's not a lot of glamour in being a used RV salesman, Rick.
I don't do it for the glamour, Bob. I love helping people enjoy the great outdoors on their terms. It's my life's work, but it doesn't have to be yours. When you sell your quality used RV with us, we take care of everything. Cleaning, repairs, commercials like this one to bring people in, and besides, I like being a used RV salesman a lot more than you do.
And that's No Bull.
NobleRV.ca.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. For a limited time, get your favorite large specialty pizza from Papa John's for only $19.99. Use code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
.531, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. We got a lot of texts coming in for the order lines. Your thoughts on that? Because, hey, today is the 9th of April. It's Thursday. In 10 days or 11, the Oilers will start the playoffs. They will not be starting on the Saturday, the 18th. They'll either start on Sunday, the 19th, or Monday, the 20th. The last 2 years, the Oilers have started on the Monday, if you recall. Maybe you don't, but they did. There's a lot of teams whose season wraps up on Tuesday. So, you look at those teams as much more likely to be playing because so if you look at teams who play like the last day of the year, playoff teams, the Ducks, the Mammoth, the Oilers, and the Avalanche. So, especially, hey, the Oilers could play the Mammoth potentially, the rate we're going right now. So they're both playing on Thursday, not going to play on Saturday. Right? I don't think the Avalanche would be playing there. But that leaves, look at all the other teams that leaves for playoffs who are either playing on Wednesday night, like the Sabres and the Lightning and the Golden Knights and the Senators, if they make it, or the Red Wings. I think there's a slight chance. The Stars, too, obviously are playing then. But there's lots of teams who are done on the Tuesday, like the Bruins, the Hurricanes, the Canadiens, the Wild, Penguins. So it seems too easy. They're going to have some Eastern teams playing on that Saturday. And then Sunday, obviously, Arena might have a small factor in it. I don't know. It sounds like there's going to be 3 games on Saturday. So, which means there'll be 5. So, are they going to play 5 games on the Sunday? Maybe. A lot of it will come down to TV, right? Like right now, the Montreal Canadiens are in. The Edmonton Oilers are like 1 win away from being in. They could be the only Canadian team. So, if the Montreal Canadiens are going to play on Saturday, I'm sure Sportsnet and Hockey Night in Canada are going to be like, hey, we want the Canadian team playing on Sunday, i.e. the Edmonton Oilers. They're not going to want to wait till Monday, right? Unless they're going to say Montreal is going to go Saturday, Tuesday, right? Like it makes little sense to me to have Montreal and Edmonton playing on the same night. Now, I know they could because you can have the early game and the late game. I understand it, right? Oiler fans, remember, the only thing you don't like about the first round of the playoffs is the start time. We all know it. Probably going to be some 8 o'clocks, really puck drop at 8:20. God, hopefully not the 8:50 that we had. But that's just, it sucks for the first round, a little bit of the second round sometimes. But as you get to the later rounds, then it's better. Games are starting early. Your kids from work, everybody's the starting games. Most people, not all, most people like the earlier start times later. You'd much rather, I'll say this, you'd much rather watch the Stanley Cup start at 6:20 Edmonton time than at 8:20. Because that's how these teams kind of have it backwards, right? Like they start the first round, their games are starting at 7 o'clock, whatever, but it gets later as they go along. Then they're into the conference final, 8 o'clock. Stanley Cup final, 8 o'clock. That is the one benefit I find, especially if you got kids or even yourself a little bit younger, you want to start a little bit earlier. So there you have it. 833-401-1440. We have no update on Dickinson as of yet. Connor Ingram is expected to practice tomorrow, and then they'll make a decision on if he's eligible to be the back. I think that Tristan Jarry is going to start on Saturday. Like if they're saying, hey, we want to see how he practices before we decide if you're going to recall a goalie, I just can't see them going to play Ingram in a game on Saturday afternoon. Remember, that is an afternoon game on Saturday for the Edmonton Oilers. So keep that in mind. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, why not just put Draisaitl with McDavid and Savoy, and you have Podkolzin and Nugent Hopkins and Hyman? They've been pretty good. From News Rep to Troy. Then, he has Frederick and Doc and Henrique, and then he has Dickinson with Jones and Kapanen. So, I don't mind that, to be honest. Like if Draisaitl's coming off it, like if you've been scoring lots of goals, you could consider it. Now, me personally, I still would want Draisaitl at center. That's just me. I just think you can control the game more as a center iceman. Plus, I think I'd rather have Draisaitl and McDavid at 5-on-5 on their own lines for the majority of the time, because it's a bigger threat. more minutes. I know that this year the nuclear deterrent as far as production wasn't there. Now that could change in the playoffs. And Draisaitl and McDavid together, you could say, you know what, these guys are going to score us 2 goals a game as a line. We'll figure out the rest. And so I can see that, especially now that you have Dickinson and you say, hey, he can play some tough minutes for us. I don't mind that at all. So, now I think you're missing someone though in your line combination. I'd have to look because I'm not sure there's room for Jones. Like Jones is in the lineup last night. And if you've got Hyman and Draisaitl, 2 guys from last night have to come out if it's Szymanski and Jones. Right? So we'll see. Now, if Dickinson's not in, Szymanski's in for sure. Right? Like I think the coach obviously prefers him at center ice. There's no doubt about that. I don't mind I'd probably have to see where Draisaitl's at for sure. Because you could be healthy and no risk of injury, but still. Now, the one thing about Draisaitl, the guy works his tail off. Like, I have no doubt that when he comes back, he'll be ready to contribute. Just, am I expecting him? And I know that what happened against Calgary, and people bring it up all the time, but I'm like, okay. And that was an unbelievable performance. But that's, first of all, even fully healthy, it's hard to have 16 points in 5 games. That was crazy numbers from Draisaitl. Right? Crazy numbers from Draisaitl. So, we'll see. Gregor Frederick was missing. No, he wasn't. I had Frederick on he was on the line with Henrique and Doc, the line that played last night. And then you had Dixon, Kapanen, and Jones, right? He had Lazar out. So, I don't know who the hell I'm missing, but you're missing. He doesn't have Dickinson. Yeah, it's Roslovic. That's who I'm missing. He's obviously in the lineup, right? So, like the orders, hey, if Jack Roslovic is on a third line with his speed, and I'm not opposed to that. Like, look at Florida's third line, right? They were massive, right? Lost Arena. We've never really seen that from him. Like I said, big reason why Florida won last year is because they had a lot of guys have career postseasons. Stan Bennett's not scoring 16 goals again. Heck, Ovechkin and Crosby have never scored 15 goals twice in a playoff run, and they're a hell of a player. Right? I love Sam Bennett, but him scoring 16 again, unlikely. Right? Lundell, Lostery, all those guys. Brad Marchand at his stage of his career. I don't see that again. And good for them. Like, you don't need to do it again. You only need to do it once. And lots of guys do it once, and that's how you win. And that's what happened to them. Right? Like look how many guys they had with 18 points. Lundell, Losterine, Marchand, Bennett, Reinhart, Kachuk, Verhaeghe, Barkov. You kidding me? Eight guys, 18 points in the playoffs in 23 games. It's crazy. And Reinhardt only played 21. So the way Roslovic's going, Matt Savoy, Hyman, when he comes back, Draisaitl, Nugent, like they got guys, they got some offense spread around. Kasperi Kapanen, like, God, I've loved his game. I'd love to see him snipe that. That would have been a hell of a goal if he buries that breakaway. But I like him. Podkolzin. How about the orders? Podkolzin and Nugent Hopkins are now both at 19 goals. They've got 5 20-goal scorers already. They could get up to 7. Currently, you have Vegas with 6, Colorado with 6, and there's one other team I'm missing. There's 3 teams who currently have 6 20-goal scorers, but none of them really have any 18 or 19-goal scores, whereas the Oilers do. So the Oilers, if Nugent Hopkins and Podkolzin each score a goal here in the final 3 games, they'll have 7 20-goal scores this year. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. We'll return, and when we come back, we'll get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. And we've got a few other quick texts I want to get to. Hey, guys, what if Savoy stays on the top line with McDavid and Hyman and move Nuge down with Draisaitl and Podkolzin and Roslovic? Could do that, too. Like, there's options, for sure, right? Like, I think it's important to remember, Matt Savoy is going to be a rookie in the NHL playoffs, and the NHL playoffs are a complete different beast. If he ends up being on your second or third line, I'm okay with that. I'm always cognizant of the playoffs, and it's a different beast. And we've seen it. Veterans can struggle with it, never mind younger players. So I think the fact that I look at their top 9, and then I throw in Trent Frederick. Trent Frederick, when he's playing engaged, he's a top 9 player. So you have, let's say, Dickinson, Draisaitl, McDavid. There's 3. You have Hyman. You have Savoy. You have Roslovic. You have Podkolzin. You have Nugent-Hopkins. You have Kapanen. Right? I throw in Trent Frederick. So, even if guys are going to move around, we saw it in the playoffs. Look at last 2 years for the Edmonton Oilers. Guys who didn't even start the playoffs and became huge contributors in the playoffs. So what we see on opening night, you might not see 29 in the first game of the playoffs. Right? Like, if I was now, I'd probably be leaning more to him not being there for game one than Edmonton being there. If he is, awesome. That's only going to be 5 weeks from his injury when the playoffs begin on either the Sunday or the Monday. Will it be enough time? We'll find out. We'll come back, wrap things up on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling.
When you use hot stove, when the thermostat do what you told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, so the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Funnel my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy.
Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Spring into savings at the Brick. Refresh your home with huge discounts. Save up to $1,800 on sofas and sectionals, and buy more, save more. Up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game. Save up to 40% off select mattresses and score free delivery when you use your Flexity card. Plus, save 50% when you buy 2 or more select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, proudly Canadian since 1971.
If you've got a smart speaker, get it to play Sports 1440.
And it doesn't matter when you listen, as we roll out the Sports Talk
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton's home for sports radio is Sports 1440.
Are you overwhelmed by debt and getting nonstop calls from creditors? It can feel like there's no escape. Debt doesn't have to be a life sentence. A single call can turn things around. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO right here in Edmonton. I can help you become debt-free with a solution just for you. Let's put an end to those calls from creditors together. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.546. We continue on. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Of course, tomorrow, Rory will start in the lead position. Well, there's 2 of them. Him and Burns, both tied right now for the lead at 5 under. So, you guys lurking, some familiar names near the top, Scheffler, Day, and others. First period, the Islanders, they jumped out to a 2-0 lead, and then they outshot the Maple Leafs. Get this, 24-3. But they're only leading 2-1. So they're all over them. Oh, the Maple Leafs are just, hey, man, they're just trying to get out of this season. Sabres, Peyton Krebs has a goal. They're up 1-0 on the Blue Jackets. Blue Blue Jackets need a win. Habs and Lightning, fairly cautious affair. Only shots 8-3 for Montreal over Tampa Bay, no score. Senators need a win, and they are leading the Panthers, no surprise, 2-0. Red Wings and Flyers knotted up at 1 late in the first period. How about Martone's got another assist? He's got 4 assists already, Cons. That guy's firing it up for the Flyers, but he's not eligible for the playoffs. So that's not great news for them. So the Penguins on a Brian Rust 29th goal of the season lead 1-0. So those are some of the early scores in the National Hockey League. Let's get to Cam Tate and the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or AC. Bundle them up together and you'll save even more at legacyheating.ca. So Tater's having a little bit of issues with his AI machine today. So usually I read it on Friday, but today for the 2-minute warning, Cam's words will come to life and yours truly will voice it. So here we go. These are Cam Tate. I love the Masters, especially Amen Corner. And I love it even more after I researched it today. They call this patch of legendary heartbreak the Cathedral in the Pines. And it's as intimidating as it sounds. Sunlight slashes through trees, so tall even your best lies get nervous. And the silence. Forget tranquil. It's the kind that makes even your golf clubs squeak out an apology. Rays Creek waits like a sly pickpocket at the edge, ready to liberate your golf ball and whatever scraps of dignity you brought. Amen Corner, where players zip up faster than a caddy who spotted lightning. But listen carefully, and you'll catch the soundtrack of crushed dreams, grown men muttering, "Forgive me, Corner," as they pencil in a number that would get you laughed out of mini golf. The name didn't descend from on high. No, it strutted in wearing jazz shoes and a grin in 1958, thanks to Herbert Warren Wind, a writer desperately rifling through the junk drawer of golf phrases for something that didn't sound like a sermon or a sandwich. He plucked shouting in that Amen Corner from a jazz tune, slapped it on Augustine. Before he could say triple bogey, the place had a nickname fancier than your grandpa's Sunday hat. Now, those 3 holes were the phrase like a warning sign in a funhouse. Half prayer, half dare. Even golf's top dogs catch a whiff of the word amen and suddenly remember urgent appointments at the drop zone. Now pause for the main event. The 12th, Golden Bell, a par 3 that looks like a postcard and plays like a practical joke. They give you 155 yards wrapped in enough azaleas to bankrupt the florist, all looking so lovely you'd think the course felt bad for what's about to happen to you. Spoiler, it doesn't. The wind here doesn't just blow, it throws sneaky staff meetings behind your back, then shoves your best shot straight into Rays Creek before you can even blame your caddy. Tom Weiskopf once donated 5 balls to those waters in a single hole. The creek keeping score like a gleeful bookie, picking up pieces of ego faster than a snack cart empties a box of pimento cheese sandwiches. Tip to one of the 13th, Azalea, where the fairway winks at you like a sitcom villain, making promises it has no intention of keeping. The par 5 flirts shamelessly, luring you in with dreams of eagles and back 9 immortality, then yanks the rug out of your hand you're suddenly auditioning for, lost in the rough. 1 minute you're picturing green jackets and glory, the next you're knee-deep in the bushes, negotiating with squirrels and wishing you just stayed home to mow the lawn. So as the leaders slink out of Augusta's Cathedral shadows this weekend, they're not just schlepping bags of clubs. They're schlepping the overcooked hopes and last-ditch prayers of every hacker who's ever begged the golf gods. Just one decent swing, please. Here, dreams cartwheel between glory and disaster faster than a leaderboard on Red Bull. At Amen Corner, even the biggest names can get punked by the Pines. One swing away from an eternal highlight reel of greatness or a viral clip of them wading through Rays Creek, socks in hand, and pride MIA on the back 9. That's Cam Tate in the 2-minute warning. Whew. Tater, quite the wordsmith today. I love it. It's fantastic. It is for golfers. I know it's like a holy grail. It's the place you want to be, the place you want to watch. It's no different than the old Montreal Forum, the old Yankee Stadium. There was just like greatness was there, heartache was there, and a lot of times they intermingled amongst one another. And it is it is one of those places. I'm not a huge golf course guy, but I would go to the Masters just to be there, Connor Halley. I've said it. That's the one course I'd want to go watch. I got our buddy Mike, who one of my buddies is retiring way too early, and he's going this weekend. He's a huge golf guy.
Incredible trip. Like just how beautiful it is, the things you'd see, the best of the best. You rise your game. Like, I don't know. I don't, not to just insult other tournaments, but I feel like you've got to win the Masters. Like, you have to get that green jacket to be considered one of the greatest of all time. And we've seen so many legendary performances, and yeah, kind of like the kickoff to summer, unofficial, where you just sit down on the Sunday and watch the Masters. I'm looking forward to it this weekend, and I'm a little envious of your buddy. Retiring too, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it is nice. Good for him. He sold his dental practice. So we'll see how long he's retired for. I know lots of people that retire, and if you get it done the first time, good for you. It doesn't seem like it sticks very often. And I get it, right? Like, it seems great. I think we'd all love the idea of retirement. And some people are good at it, but I'm sure it's difficult that first time. You're so used to being working for how many years? Like, you're used to having something to do. I think the first month's probably great. It's kind of like you're on holidays. Oh, yeah, I'm on holidays, got nothing to go for. Great. But then after, you're like, geez, what am I going to do today? So you probably got to have a plan, right? I know his plan for the summer is he's golfing every day, which is, it's a good thing. Right? Get a good round in. But even that's only going to, if you're walking, it's 5 hours, right? Even if you're going to stretch, you're going to hit the range. Like, I guess that could become kind of your day, a 6-hour day, 6.5-hour day. So why not? Could be fun. The Raptors, Cons will update on them. The Raptors, they want to hold down that number 6 spot in the NBA to avoid the play-in. Because even though 7 and 8 usually win, you just don't want to give yourself extra chance to lose or get somebody banged up. So big game tonight for the Raptors against the Heat. Coming up tomorrow, Positive Friday. We got lots to set up for the weekend. Of course, day 2 at the Masters. Will the Oilers have clinched a playoff spot? We'll find out tomorrow. Have yourselves a great night. On behalf of Declan Cougar, Connor Halley, I'm Jason Gregor. Be safe. Thanks, as always, for making us part of your day. We very much appreciate it. Let's get to the con man now and a sports 1440 update brought to you by, and now I've lost my sheet. This is not good. We got a new one, but brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Do you need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes. And they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Visit mortgagestogo.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Busy night in the NHL. 14 games on the schedule in the second period. Leafs trail the Islanders 2-1 after 20 minutes. Sabres have a 1-0 lead over the Jackets. Lightning and Canadians scoreless. Sends up on the Panthers 2-0. Flyers and Red Wings tied at 1, while the Penguins lead the Devils 1-0. Later tonight, Jets and Blues. Blackhawks will host the Canes. Wild taking on the Stars. The Flames head to Colorado. Mammoth host the Preds. Sharks taking on the Ducks. Kraken at Golden Knights from Seattle, and the Kings hosting the Vancouver Canucks. Major League Baseball today, just 6 games, 3 finals. Marlins got past the Reds 8-1. It was the Athletics over the Yankees 1-0, and the Twins down the Tigers 3-1. They'll be in Toronto starting on Friday. Currently, Mets have a 1-0 lead over the Diamondbacks in the third, and scoreless Royals or White Sox in the first. Later tonight, Padres will host the Rockies. In the association, Toronto Raptors have the lead over the Heat in the second, 43-35. You've also got the Bucks up on the Wizards, 43-37. And in the first, Pacers lead the Nets 22-12. Later on this evening, Rockets host the Sixers, and the Lakers in the Bay to take on the Warriors. Masters round 1 action. Sam Burns and Rory McIlroy atop the leaderboard at 5 under par. When it comes to the Canadians, Nick Taylor tied for 10th. He's -1. We've also got Corey Connors 3 over par, and Mike Weir +9. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, Fox Sports Radio. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Kevin Carius here on Sports 1440. You can also watch on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio